But at least now it can't get much worse.
But it did get worse.
How's it going, guys? Yes, I'm late. Late. You can call me that if you want in the chat. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was watching the first episode of Rings of Power Season 2, and it's bad. It's very, very bad. But it's also, I feel like I've been drinking. Like I haven't had anything to drink today. But I feel intoxicated because just trying to digest how the Rings of Power story works it's just hard to believe. You'll see it soon. You'll see it soon. So what do we got for you tonight? What do we got for you? A bit slow. Be sure to like the stream, even though I'm late. I know I don't deserve it, but please do like the stream. We got April's hearing tonight. We got April's 10-minute hearing, but this is the highlight. This is the absolute highlight of the stream. Let's take a look. Quick listen. Let me know how the audio sounds.
Your Honor, thank you.
All right, matters adjourned. Thank you.
Show us how those tits are, April.
It's too funny. It's too funny. I like that the trolls decided to wait until the end of the hearing. That's very polite of them. A little bit better than Nick's arraignment, where the N-bombs were dropping hard and heavy from the very first moment. But there's a little bit of a Lawtube mystery tonight. Where have I seen this before? Somewhere in my memory. Where is this? It looks vaguely familiar. But Nick decided, wait a minute. Oh no, what's going on here? Are the calls coming from inside the house? How can it be? So yes, obviously April decided to call into a hearing from the Baldo bunker herself. Interesting choice. Of course, it's not an illegal move. There's nothing wrong with doing it, but it's a bit audacious, if you ask me. Nick had a bit of a cope session stream today. I think he only streams when stuff about his case is going on now, which is pretty similar to me, I suppose. So I guess I can't blame him for that. But there's a very interesting point in this stream where he talks about the lies that the court is telling you and the lies in April's document. And there is some incredibly ridiculous gaslighting that goes on in this one. If there's any choice timestamps, I'd be happy for people to tell me because I only watched a bit of it. I was very busy today. We also have a bit later on the docket, and there might be some other stuff as well, but we got Nate the lawyer, who actually I quite like. Actually, when I first started streaming a long time ago, long time ago, I think it was actually about Kurt, who was copyright striking people, but he got better. Don't worry. Kurt's had his redemption arc, like unironically. But sorry, before I get into that. But Nate the lawyer was one of the first people that ever super chatted me. So I much appreciate Nate the lawyer from that day forward. But also his opinions are actually just pretty good. And he actually has a lot of experience. But yeah, I was going to say, Kurt has like, I think the best redemption arc and the best story arc and character arc of all of Lawtube. Like, don't get me wrong. Nick's is the most entertaining. His fall from grace, the betrayals of the audience, the slow move into corruption, the tendrils of Nurgle and Slaanesh gathering him up has been very entertaining. Very, very funny. But Kurt has had the best character arc. He went from copyright striking people making fun of him to apologizing for that. And now he's kind of doing his own thing. He's got his own channel. He's been very consistent. I like that about Kurt. He's very logical. He knows his shit. He's on his love quest still. Hopefully he'll find a boyfriend-free girl at some point. But I think his character development has been the best of all the Lawtubers. Yes, he was a copyright person, but he changed. People can make mistakes and get better sometimes. Red One with £2 says Nick was under the desk. Imagine the smell. It'd be a nice little turnaround for that. All right, let me see what people want to see in the chat first. I think people want to see Nick's lies, but I haven't quite got the timestamp just yet, so I think I'll have to do a bit of searching. It shouldn't be too hard, because you can just follow the document. So, Kurt Simp. Come on. He's doing his best out there. All right, let's see. I think the lie started about here. It's when he starts talking about, maybe let me think. What do people really want to see the most? Usually you have to wait about 30 minutes before people kind of fill up in a stream. So maybe I should do a lightweight topic first. But I think Nick's lies about the nanny is what's really the most audacious. Let me see if I can find that. I think it's somewhere around. It must be around here when it comes up in the document. I do apologize for not having the timestamp ready to go, but like I said, I got distracted by
handcuffing me
Let's
has a
see.
sore on his arm.
Let me just skip around for a
This
little bit.
This is their list.
Or maybe I can play it and look for it at the same time as. No, then I'd have no audio. Does anyone know in the chat? Does anyone know in the chat if we have that timestamp? When he starts talking about the nanny, that's the really like ridiculous part about this.
No longer.
I thought I had it. I was kind of listening to it a little bit before we started though. Kurt is the hero we need. Kurt couldn't get Kayla if Baldo gave her to him. Oh, that's so sad. That was the saddest thing, actually. You know, the saddest thing is because like when all the Coke sharing came out and Aaron was getting the Coke and April was getting the Coke, I think Aaron actually went to. Sorry, I'll bring that up in a second. I think the saddest moment was when Kurt was seeing the reaction to Nick being arrested, and he was like, "Kurt, wait, Nick gave drugs to everyone but me." And then someone was like, "Sorry, Kurt, Nick only gave drugs to his friends." I was just like, oh, I could feel the heartbreak in that moment. It was so sad. It was so sad. Go over Kino Casino covering your coverage about COG to fill time. I don't think so. You can check it out on their clip channel. I think it's pretty entertaining, but it gets a bit ridiculous. Like, I'll show you what I mean. If I go to the Kino. I mean, I do like the Kino Casino, but you know, it's a bit awkward to listen to myself talk, I think. But like the actual streamception is kind of wild. Once we get past this 4-second ad, hold on a second. Oh, that's kind of cool ad for samurai shit, for knives actually. So if I was to react to this clip, the levels of inception are just ridiculous. Look at this. So if I did this, it would be me reacting to Ashton and Andy, reacting to COG, reacting to me, to reacting to COG. We can't do it. I'm sorry. It's too many levels deep. It's too deep. If you dig too greedily and too deep, that's when you start unleashing Balrogs and things. So we can't do that, I think. Although it is a funny clip. It's on the Kino Casino clip channel. Check it out if you're so interested. I think the best way to do this is to start with April's hearing. It's only 10 minutes. It's only 10 minutes. That seems like the best thing. And then we can go into Nick's stuff. And I think then we can go into the Lawtube stuff. I think that sort of sounds the most reasonable. I mean, even this level of streamception is kind of annoying, but this is a pretty interesting clip, especially when Joe shows up. That's the one I'm interested in. I haven't seen most of it, but there's a few parts that are interesting at the beginning. And I did have a look at this clip 2 days ago, actually, when I was talking about how Barnes and Viva are basically Jabba the Hutt and Salacious Crumb. And I stand by that statement. So let's take a look at April's hearing. That's the first thing in the title. It makes sense to start at the beginning. I have to thank Greg Edwards, Altair 4, because he's the only person that I found that uploaded a copy of this without that annoying guy in the corner. I mean, I guess I'll be the annoying guy in the corner for this one. But like, it was really funny because Nick actually reacted to this as well. But I think he couldn't find an addition. Like, he couldn't find a clip of this without some other guy already commenting over it, which is very funny. See, it's like levels of streamception today. Look at this. So Nick was reacting to this, but he couldn't find one that wasn't like, why did he just locally record it? It was on his computer, just press record on his own, like just screen record his thing. He was like, does anyone have, he was like asking his chat, does anybody have a copy? Does anybody have a copy of this broadcast that happened from my house this morning? What? I mean, there was a copy obviously on the farms, which Nick reads every day, and he reads every single thing. He actually admits to reading Kiwi Farms in today's clips. It's kind of wild. But thank you to whoever this guy is, Greg Edwards, for uploading a copy with just the good stuff, So we'll go into that first. There we go, like that. It's got like a little
Charged
intro.
with 1 count, charged arraignment. This is
All right. There we go. This is where we begin. This is Judge Fisher. This is the woman that Nick wants to drink various alcoholic beverages out of her personal space, her private areas. This is the one that has to deal, like, this is the face that she makes when she has to deal with Nick. I believe this is the judge that Nick cornered. And he actually did like a bit of a historic revision today. He's like, I never cornered her in the elevator. That's just Kiwi Farms cope. But he said it happened in a courtroom, not an elevator, so it's not much of a difference. But anyway, this is the Judge Fisher. Let us see what she has to say.
Arraignment. Ms. Imholt, you're charged with 1 count of possession of controlled substance, a felony violation of Minnesota statute, section 152.025, subdivision 2.
Oh, look at this. We've got all the people's faces. This is Kristen Pierce. I remembered her from the documents. Oh, my goodness. It's so nice to have a face to the name.
Paragraph 1 and subdivision 4, paragraph B, maximum penalty,
I like
5
that
years
video.
imprisonment,
Look at
a $10,000 fine, or both. Ms. Imholt, you have the right to remain silent and not submit to police interrogation. Anything you say may be used against you in this or any subsequent proceeding. You have the right to counsel in all proceedings, including police lineups and interrogations. You have the right to be represented by an attorney of your own choosing, your own expense. However, if you demonstrate indigence, then attorney will be appointed at public expense. You have the right to communicate with defense counsel, and a continuance will be granted if necessary to permit this. You have the right to a trial before the court or a jury. Mr. Gallagher has submitted a...
All right, so what do we think about this judge so far? It's time for judge review. I don't know, she seems pretty professional so far. Like, I kind of expected a little bit different from her. Like, I thought she'd be younger based on Nick having fantasies about her and the juices that flow from her. But here's a question to the chat. Obviously, you can rate the judge. Not if you would smash or not smash, obviously. That's ridiculous. Like, would you have her as your judge? Do you think does she exude that mummy energy that would give you a fair trial? Or will she be harsh but fair? That's the real question. But no, the real question is, does the judge recognize Nick's room? And of course, it's a blurred out background. So maybe she just has a picture of Nick's room. Like I can sometimes pretend to be, I'm in Jeff's room. Where is it? There we go. From my office. Wait, does this not work? There we go. See? Look, Judge. I'm in Jeff's. Oh, I'm in South Korea. What's going on here? It's the Isaville legal. But no, enough silliness. I always guarantee that she knows what Nick's background looks like. She has to, right? She has to. Just based on all the people sending clips to her and all the things that Nick have said about her and all of the things, like she had to have seen the clip of Nick in his getting on the Coke stream, right? Because that would have been part of the warrant application. So she has to have seen this background. She must recognize it. What is going through her mind in this moment? She can only thank her lucky stars that they requested a secondary judge to replace her for their criminal trial, because she still has to deal with Nick during his case against Montegraph, which he still hasn't paid. He still owes Monty $300. But X-Coomer, with a 50 Norwegian kronas, says, so he thought people wouldn't know his place or what? Also painting the background, we've seen that before. He knew people would recognize his background. He just didn't care. That's like, he just doesn't care. He straight up just doesn't care. Obviously, like, it's not illegal for April to be there, but it's a little bit wild that she's going into this hearing where she's going to claim that she was just visiting, she's not the nanny, and they weren't her drugs, and she's at the place where she was arrested for drugs. It's a little bit audacious, is what I'm saying.
Certificate of representation. Mr. Gallagher, you've also submitted a motion to dismiss, and it's your motion.
You're muted. You're muted. See, look, it happens to even business professionals. It can happen to anybody. Or did this guy, or did Greg mute it? Is that what's happening here? Because he changed his audio settings, I thought. Damn it, you, Greg! Greg! All right, I take back everything nice I said about Greg. What are you doing? Greg, no. It's not me that's muted. It's not me. It's Greg. Look, you can see him doing audio tech support right now. It's okay. I'm just interested in what April has to say, mostly. Oh my goodness! I thought I had a clean. There we go.
Second time it says she was.
Don't worry. It's just going through regular court stuff. It's not that interesting. But thank you, Tuesday Money, for this Thursday Money in Japan. $5 dues and a hand clapping sticker. Much appreciated. Look at that. He's doing live tech support while he's screen recording. No, it was working.
Second time it says she was located in the master bedroom. Third time it says 2 credit cards listed to the defendant were found.
Yeah,
And then-
he's just gone over the items where it says that April was mentioned 5 times in the warrant.
And it says the fourth time it mentions her name. It
Well, not
says
the warrant,
her
but
purse
the
was
report.
located in a hallway between the master bedroom leading to the attached bathroom, and that a co-defendant indicated, and the homeowner indicated that the defendant was at the home visiting at the time of the search warrant execution. Mere presence is not enough to support a possession charge. There's no allegation that she possessed any drugs. And so we're asking that the court dismiss the charge.
Okay. No evidence to suggest that she possessed any drugs, despite the fact that drugs were found on her credit cards. Interesting. Interesting. Now, of course, she was probably just partaking in them, but that's their motion. How's it going to go for April? I know everyone knows the answer already, but let's have a look.
Ms. Pierce.
Your Honor, Ms. Imholt was found in the room where the drugs were found. She's only being charged with the drugs that were found immediately on top of her credit cards, which were active and not expired. One was a bank card.
Wait, what? Wait, so is this like a special legal loophole I've never seen? If your credit card's expired, you can't be charged for the drugs on it? Your Honor, that's the old credit card. That was my Discover card. It's expired years ago, and it's embarrassing. But obviously, you can only charge me for the 2 grams that are on my Visa that is in current. What? I mean, I guess like maybe sometimes people give away their like old credit cards just for fun. I remember my parents did that with me. They're like, we didn't have many toys growing up, so when we ran out of the credit cards expired, they're like, here you go, you can pretend to be an adult. It doesn't work on anything. I was like, oh, thanks, Mum and Dad. I'm going to have a right fun with this. I will. Sorry. I guess that's how Cog lives. Who can say?
And her purse was found in the master bedroom suite, which between the master bedroom and the bathroom.
Oh, you know what I'm missing? Oh my goodness. Sorry, I apologize. We're so unprepared today. We're missing the chat. The chat's not there. All right.
And she was in the room when
Sorry,
law
chat.
enforcement executed the search warrant, and the drugs were out in the open on top of her immediate possessions, with the rest of the contents of her purse also in that room. While mere presence is not enough, that does show that she was in the room and creates a joint possession that she was using, or at least with one of the homeowners in that bedroom where the drugs were out in the open on top of, literally on top of her property.
There we go. Now everything's right.
Of
Everything's
her
right in the
bank
world.
cards.
That's not Alicia Sweep. That's what's her name? Miss Pierce. That's Miss Pierce that was talking. All right.
For today's purposes, I'm denying the motion without prejudice.
Oh no.
I think the motion is not.
You look at the defeat. The defeat in the face. Oh no, she did a little stiff. Look at this. Oh my goodness. It's like that clip from The Simpsons. You can see the moment her heart explodes. Oh no, this is brutal. She makes the face. She makes the face. It's the dog person face. It's the actual moment her heart exploded. You know why she's so sad? Because everything could have just been dismissed right here. And you guarantee you that Nick was telling her that today's the day everything ends. It took them 4 minutes. 4-minute Feltoning. Holy shit. I get to say that word all month because Kino Casino's on break for September, I think. That's my word now.
As the defense filing would make it seem, considering Ms. Pierce's take on the evidence, and that the motion to dismiss would be more appropriate for a Rule 11 motion where the parties could dive in a little deeper to present the court with the full flavor of the evidence. And so for today's purposes, it's denied. And Mr. Gallagher, would you like to combine Rule 5 and Rule 8 today?
Mr. Gallagher has a very unfortunate camera.
Yes.
I know it's very small to
All
say.
right,
But,
are you waiving reading of the complaint, deferring
like a
entry of a
wide-angle
plea and
lens.
demanding an omnibus hearing?
Yes.
And are you wanting the contested omnibus hearing right away?
Um,
Or do you want to be on the uncontested block first?
I think we'd rather be in the uncontested block because every now and then discovery issues pop up.
Yep, and that's fine. The purpose in our county for the uncontested omnibus is for the defendant to either demand or waive the contested omnibus. So it does buy you a little time, and then the case is not assigned yet either. We'll assign it once you demand or waive omnibus.
Thank you.
I guess they get to reuse that that failed filing that they had for the Nick's omnibus. They can reuse it. Why not? They've already paid for it. Nick's already written it. So why don't they just submit it for hers as well? Yeah, give it another chance. Why not? Who knows what's going to happen? Oh my goodness, there's dead air in the courtroom. It's rough. It's rough over there. How are you rating April's fit check this time? I know you guys love rating her dresses, which I think are fine. I think you guys are much too strict on her. She said her last dress was a 1. I'm not sure this is a court. This is not court. Like she needs a cardigan or something. I think the deep V-neck is well, it's a good look for streaming, as I understand it, but maybe not so much for a court appearance. Not if I had to be critical.
17th at 2:30.
That's out of 14 days.
Oh, don't do it, Greg. He
Maybe
wants
you'll
to
just
check what the
11,
observers are doing. Is
2:45.
he
We
one of
would
this?
waive any time
Oh,
limits, by the way.
gosh, I'm thinking, I'm totally.
She's a woman. She's a woman judge. Give her a couple minutes to think. She's thinking. Let her cook. Let her cook, lads.
Sorry. My fault. Okay, time is waived, so the 17th, a lot of our prosecutors are gone. And so let's
Are
go.
they having a big prosecutor party or
into-
something? What are they doing? Is it like a holiday in America?
October 8th at 3:30.
That works for the state, Your Honor.
That works for me.
That works for meme. That's true. I'll be there. October 8th. It works for me. How do they know? Did you hear that? It works for meme. It absolutely does. Oh my goodness, we're gonna have to clip that.
Works for the state, Your Honor.
That works for me. I'm not sure if my client is at a good date.
How did they know?
April.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes.
All right, 3:30
What is
on
that,
October
that's a
8th. That
Tuesday, yeah.
continues to be a remote appearance for uncontested omnibus.
Oh my goodness.
Ms. Pierce, what's the state's position on release?
I saw it earlier, but I forgot about it.
Your Honor, this does involve the possession of controlled substances. We are requesting unconditional bail in the amount of $20,000,
Oof.
conditionally that she could be released on her own recognizance on the conditions that she have no use of controlled substances or alcohol that are not prescribed, submit to random testing, remain law-abiding, and report to probation as directed.
That seems pretty strict. Like, if I'm being honest, that seems real strict. 20,000. So I guess that means that Nick has to pay her 2,000 because it's like 10%, right, to bail out. Party's over though, I guess. No, wait. If she pays the full bond, doesn't she get to be? She gets to party all she wants without. I'm not sure actually. But so yeah, it's like I guess it's because Nick and Kayla got 50,000. So I guess it's less than them, but it still seems pretty strict. But again, like Nick has to keep April happy because now that she's not just get away scot-free, she's got no reason. I mean, apart from love, if you want to call something, something like that. I guess that's a thing that some people feel. Not me though. Usually, as you know, I'm an incel. But I guess Nick has to keep her happy so that she doesn't flip on him, because now the prosecutor could come to him and like, look, you're looking at 20,000, 5 years away, 5 of your best years, 5 years of your best eggs going down the toilet if you don't take this plea deal. We're coming for you, April. We're coming for you. Unless you squeal on the Baldo Führer, then we'll take him down instead of you. So, I mean, Nick's going to have to be real nice to April for, I guess, until October, right? I guess that's unfortunate for Kayla because now she has to be number 2. She has to take another one for the team. She took one for the team when Nick destroyed her body through childbirth. Not what his words, not mine. So Kayla took one for the team then, and now she's got to be second wife. She's been demoted to secondary, and April's the primary until this is all cleared up or they're all in prison. Wait. What the fuck? April's got a bigger Adam's apple than you? Is that true? It's just the lighting. It's just the lighting. Nick's got that he's got that studio lighting to make his nose look bigger. Who can say? Who can say? No, she's just gulping. She's having cope gulps. But that reminds me, I didn't even bring any water, so I can't gulp today, which is sad. Until I get up and get my maybe I'll play tax free and I'll go get some water. Who can say?
Gallagher.
Your Honor, I believe the allegations are very scant in this case.
Scant like my client, Your Honor. Sorry, I apologize for that one.
To the point that it would be inappropriate to have conditions of release on her. She's here on a summons. I don't know why we need to impose bail or conditions, especially testing.
Ms. Imholt, you're ordered to make all future court appearances, arrive 15 minutes early, ready to proceed. Keep in contact with Mr. Gallagher as he's your point of contact for all court business. You are to be booked on this charge, and you'll need to make arrangements to come into the courthouse in Candioi County and Wilmer any business day from the hours of 9 to noon or 1 to 4. And that's just for pictures and fingerprints.
Didn't they already take her fingers?
If you've already done
like,
this,
yeah.
then that has been satisfied.
Like they already booked her. I'd assume this is already done. I guess it's just something that they have to say.
You are ordered to remain absolutely law abiding. You may gain your unconditional release by posting cash or bond in the amount of $20,000. In the alternative, I will release you on your own recognizance subject to conditions. The conditions are as follows. Don't leave the state of Minnesota without prior court approval.
Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst penalty. That's like sentencing someone to a lifetime. You can't leave Minnesota. Oof.
Have no use or possession of alcoholic beverages or mood-altering substances that are
she has to be in Minnesota and she can't get drunk? Holy shit. Oh my goodness.
prescribed to you, and submit to any form of testing to verify that you are abstaining. The testing can be at the demand of law enforcement or probation. You are responsible for the cost of the testing. Failure to cooperate or failure to show up for testing is the same as using and providing a positive sample.
You see, I think that's unfair. Like, I mean, I think 20,000 is too high, honestly. But it's kind of bullshit when you have to pay for the testing. The government's ordering the testing, so they're ordering you a bill. That's kind of bullshit. I mean, I know it's pretty expensive to get into anything with legal related, but there's like the cherry on the top, right? They're like, you have to go in there every other day, and it's like $75 for a test or something. That's kind of BS. That's just rude. Like, you don't go over to someone's house for dinner and then they charge you, unless you're in like Scandinavia or something. Apparently, they do that there. They're like really weird. Like, you go over to someone's house, they'll be eating a meal and they'll just ask you to wait outside, or if you sit down, they'll like Venmo you requesting for like $20 or some shit. It's like absolutely wild. I don't understand those Scandinavians. They're very generous in my chat though. I like my Scandinavian chat boys. Hey, look, it's Aaron. Aaron in the chat. Another win for the toe. Says, great show. Love the work. Why Emotep? That's hurtful. Have a great stream, buddy. Thanks. Much appreciated, Aaron. It's because I didn't know how to say Imholte. I literally just had no idea, because Australians have problem with vowels. Just if you ever seen a video of Australians trying to say no, that's not true. It's very difficult. So I thought that was funny. I like The Mummy. It's a great movie. But I think you're only like 2 months older than me, so it's not like an age reference or anything like that. But speaking of Aaron, Reindeer also said Aaron's reaction to this was funny and annoying. I don't know about that, but I do have one Aaron clip I need to play. This was like, I saw this is really funny. This is really funny. Like, check this out.
You know what? You shouldn't say this while you're doing a show. You shouldn't really promote other people's shit, I guess. But I'm really looking forward to watching Meme Copium before therapy today. Klopogram says, why?
Oh my goodness, that's too funny. That's too funny. Looking forward to the meme show before therapy. I love that. That's great. Like you go in there, Miss Steinberg, she's like, Miss Steinberg, I know you got to check out this meme copium guy. He's hilarious. And she's like, tell me more about this, Mr. Meme Copium. This is $200 an hour, by the way. But tell me more about this esoteric stream for some guy in Japan. Oh my goodness, that's too funny. Oh my god. I hope she's not fleecing you for that. Like you should just tell her to watch me on replay or something. But thank you for the shout out and the $10. Much appreciated. Can we hit it, chat?
You'd have no use or possession of firearms, dangerous weapons, ammunition, or explosives. You must meet with Candy County Community Corrections initially to do intake for pretrial release monitoring of the court's conditions, and thereafter as they require. Their number is 320-231-6222, and you are required to call them and establish this relationship for pretrial release monitoring.
Well, that's something April's got some experience in establishing relationships, so she should be pretty good at this one.
In the next 24 hours. All right, anything else to come before the court today, Mr. Gallagher?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Pierce?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, matters adjourned. Thank you.
Show us how those tits far, April.
See, look at this. This one comment. Like, she's having the worst time in her life, but women always love attention. This is the only thing that makes her smile in this whole stream. She's like, finally. Like, you know, you think that maybe she's like mad or something, but no, look at this. She's got a cheeky little smile. She's got a cheeky little smile there. Like, you can see it. Look. You can see it in her eyes. This is like cheer her up. Nick's not making her happy anymore. Making false promises, promising it'll all be over. But that one guy was like, show us your teats. And she was like, oh, someone appreciated the shirt I wore today. Look at that. I must be so happy. So nice. It's always nice to have a happy ending, right? So there we go. There's your 10-minute. And yeah, this is on Greg Edwards' channel, I suppose. So go check out Greg Edwards if you so choose to. Oh my goodness. What a fun little thing. I guess we'll go into Nick now, but oh man. What was said exactly? What was said exactly in the court case? Basically, they showed up. Oh, chat has been disabled for Nick's stream. Oh no. Oh no, that's kind of sad. I wanted to read the chat. There was some good chat. What happened? Did Nick disable the chat himself? It was working a few minutes ago. Maybe if I could try control F5ing this or whatever. Oops. No. This one almost reloaded my entire stream. Let me try reloading next stream, see if that works, and get the chat back.
So here's the probable cause statement. And
is it working now? Yeah, okay, I got it working again. There we go. I got to go. So anyway, what happened in April's trial, but now I want to remove it. It's because YouTube's doing that weird thing. Shit. There we go. So what happened in April's case is they showed up. They said that because the drugs were only found on her credit cards and one of them was expired, surely it can't be her Coke. The judge was... They took 4 minutes to get ready and say that. The judge immediately said, no, you're coming back to try. No, denied. It was probably the fastest court case, the fastest Feltoning I've ever seen. Pretty impressive. And then there was a bit of April crying on stream for another 6 minutes, and then someone asked them to show their teats, and that was it. That was it for the day. But it was interesting though, because it kind of revealed, like, I guess I didn't realize this, or maybe I did and I just forgot it. But today's events, and also Nick talking about this, because this is the first time he really talked about the Coke being in the house. And there was some really annoying lawyering that went in this stream as well. Like one guy was like, "Did you ever confirm what April was?" And he just like danced around the obvious question, which is like, "What is she doing in your house?" Because obviously she's the mistress, but he's never admitted to it. But yeah, what really kind of dawned on me, or maybe I just re-remembered from this stream, was that the Coke was out, ready to sniff, or maybe it was just left out overnight. I don't know. But at 9 a.m. or whatever, when the police rolled up, they were already getting high at 9 a.m. on like a school day. Nick was off dropping off a kid, and then he was just going to go right back into getting high all day. That's why they weren't feeding the kids. That's why Aaron had to get the SpaghettiOs out. At least someone was feeding those kids. But yeah, it's wild. Just 9 a.m. get the Coke out. I mean, like I said, it could have been left out overnight. I think you have to put Coke back in the fridge or it gets bad, but it loses its fizz, right? But who can say? Who can say? X-Kuma with another 50 from North Korean Coronas says, guess it's all a matter of time before the Coke Pope force them to go online Tate style. Unironically, this probably is the arc we can expect because Nick has talked previously about how he thinks that OnlyFans is a good and honest profession that one day children will respect. Even though we have all these cases of kids like trying to delete themselves because their mum was on OnlyFans and, oh shit, I said the word. Oh well, that's another yellow stream for me. It's unfortunate. It is what it is. But yeah, like Nick actually said this. He said that kids won't care that their parents are on OF because they'll have like a golden iPhone or some shit. Can you just imagine this? A bully comes up to you and he's got like pictures of your mum with a Vibraldo or something. And it's like, hey, is this is your mum, right? And they're about to kick the shit out of you. And it's like, well, actually, I've got a golden, and then they just start punching you and wailing on you because obviously that's what kids do. Because kids look for any reason to bully kids, and no child can respect their parents if there's pictures of them naked on the internet. It's ridiculous. But he said like it's just only prudes will think that OF is a weird profession in the future. It's all honest, good day's work. Nobody will laugh at you with it. They'll respect the OnlyFan mom, like the one that there's a mom that like literally like advertises her OnlyFans on her car when she goes to like parent teachers meeting. Ridiculous. But Nick honestly said, without a hint of irony, that that would be the future. And this is an example of streamer brain or internet brain, because if all you do is stream, and that's where you get your money from, that's where you get your self-affirmation from, because all the people in chat telling you the best thing since sliced bread. You start to believe these wild, crazy theories. And one of those is that like OF is just a normal thing, because there's so many OF girls that are trying to be your friend and collaborate with you because they want to get their exposure out there. And that's why Nick was always seeking out women anyway. And we can see that with basically every female streamer that's been on his stream, right? Starting with Farron and the drunk stream. He trying to lures in these women and to add them into his collective. It's only worked once, it seems, with April. But if you were a female streamer and Nick invited you on, just consider that. Consider his motivations there. And also, Fierce Rama with a 5 Australian, much appreciated, said, if he leaves the coke out overnight, the kids will definitely be in danger. If they're doing coke at 9 a.m., the kids will definitely in danger. He's got no defense. Absolutely. This is why I say that Nick was actually engaged in child endangerment and child neglect, because he has kids as young as what, like 6 or something? Is 6, I think, the youngest? 6-year-olds go into their parents' bedrooms all the time when they're scared, when they're hungry. Like they literally go there and knock on the door and ask for SpaghettiOs because there's big 4 people in the Minnesota King bed. But yeah, like kids will they seek out their parents, they seek out their guardians, their protectors, their loved ones. And if you're leaving coke out, they'll absolutely find it. Now, I don't know if there's a lock on that door. Maybe they did. Maybe they took that precaution. But no, that's ridiculous. It's out at 9 a.m., literally while Nick is dropping off one of the other kids at school. There's also, like, again, I don't remember what my timestamps are for this video. So we'll have to do a bit of hunting, bit of hunter-gathering today, Chad, when we find it. But Nick actually says in this video that they don't have a nanny anymore. April's not a nanny, and they don't have a spare room for a nanny. We only have one bed. Like, we've got rooms for our kids and one big bed. So they're confirming that April just sleeps with them. And I'll be like, well, actually, he just confirmed that she's sleeping in this trap. No, she's not sleeping in the trap house. Okay. She only goes there for legal reasons. She's obviously at their house 24/7. It's just on paper she lives there. But thank you for the 5. Much appreciated. All right. Let me begin the hunting and gathering. This is a wild episode of gaslighting. If I can find the exact clip, and like I said, it might take us a while. So give me a little bit of leeway here. I'm looking for when, or if anyone has a timestamp, I'm looking for when Nick talks about April not being a nanny, and that's just a lie by the court. Wait until you hear what he says about
all
this.
of those people can be individually guilty or.
Let's see. It's around here somewhere. It was when Kayla's statement comes up.
Being chunky. Like, come back to me.
Oh, I'll actually look at Nick's chat because I think
they act like they stopped me. These lazy asses didn't do shit.
Someone
upon knocking on the door, a juvenile female opened the door and wouldn't let me in. This is false. Straight out false.
Guess we'll just start from here, I suppose. Although there are
all.
some
I don't know
inconsistencies in
why.
this report.
Imholt, the yellow snort tube in the black vial containing cocaine.
Let me see. I'll just go around a bit more.
Oh,
See if
I
I can
hope
find
it's
this.
poop. Additional firearms and
I should
ammunition.
search the transcript. That's using a noodle, Kurt. Let me see. I can't see the transcript though. Transcript doesn't always come up. It's usually here, right? Oh no, here it is. Transcript. Wow. Okay. Search transcript, and we want to go about 45 minutes, or can I just go Control F this shit? Nanny. Ah, wow! Look at that. It worked. Holy shit. See, I told you Kurt was a valued and useful member of the chat. Look at that.
This is not a true statement.
All right, this is wild. This is wild. Prepare yourselves. Set your faces for stunned. But we'll go back. We'll go back maybe 1 minute to see what his preamble is for that. But much appreciated, Kurt. That's like the most valuable chat of. Well, I mean, Aaron did give me $10, so that was the most valuable chat. But yours is pretty close up there too.
He stays in the master bedroom with his wife, Kayla Rekieta. Imholt was a friend who was visiting and does not live at the residence. While being booked into the jail, Kayla Rekieta requested that
Okay. The lady that appeared. Just a second, guys.
Denying them.
Imholt does not stay at the residence. Regards, streaming from Dick's Baldo bunker. Okay, that's a fun one.
prescription medication be brought to her. Upon reviewing the prescription bottles for Kayla Rekieta.
Oh, this was wild too. I forgot about this. Like when they got arrested, Kayla asked for her prescription bottle, and it literally had like gummies in there, like gummies and drugs and shit. It's like, can I get my pills? Literally, the cops go and get more drugs for her. Well done. Well done. Much appreciated. All right. Now Kurt's got the most valuable chat. Look at that. Bring in his A game. The most valuable chat. $11 dues. Much appreciated. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be able to buy so many burger pizzas tomorrow for pizza day.
Data that were brought to the jail. Jail staff found 2 unknown pills and gummies in one of the prescription bottles. 2 unknown pills and gummies. Okay, both.
Now, to be fair, I think that gummies and marijuana is decriminalized in Minnesota. But the idea of you're being arrested and the first thing you think about is, can you get my pill bottle for me when I want to go to the courthouse sober? That's going to be a nightmare. 48 hours? Shit.
Both of those are plural, but they're different things. But there's 2. It's confusing.
Okay. Nick, there's a very... So we skipped the beginning of this stream, but there is something that I should have mentioned, that Nick talks about how technicalities are not a big deal. Like he says, like, oh, technicalities, they're actually not a big deal. The court can just rectify them all the time. He literally submitted in his motion to suppress and oppress the internet. I added that part, that last part in. That his argument was literally, did you know that Josh Moon's attorney fat-fingered one of his ID numbers? That's the wrong number. He made a 201, Your Honor. Nobody gives a shit about it. It's just, I mean, rules for thee, but not for me, I suppose. Anyway.
These items did not match the prescription on the bottle. Kayla Rekieta informed child protection workers that Imholt is their live-in nanny.
Wouldn't this be correct, though? Like, jail staff found 2 unknown pills and gummies. Yes, there was multiple pills and multiple gummies in one of the prescriptions. What's wrong with that sentence? I guess this is only his big-brained, like, English major can understand this. It's much too deep for me. I need, like, a 500 IQ. And Yellow Flash, with this third most valuable chat tonight, says, she's not a very good friend of the family, Your Honor. Oh, she's just a... Well, shit. Now I made myself look stupid. She's just a very good friend of the family, Your Honor. She's a very good friend. Ooh, wish I could get a friend like that. But as you know, I have never seen a vagina, which is very sad. Or according to Cog, I'm a homo. That was the best part. If you didn't see the Cog stream, which I know nobody did, but if you might have seen the clips on the Kino Casino, he's like, this guy's a homo. I thought British people were meant to have like, dry, wet, backhanded comments, but Clog, he's a homosexual, he is. I don't like, he said I dressed up as a woman, he did. Anyway, sorry. We'll stop Clog posting.
This is not a true statement by the drafting officer here.
Okay, so the statement reads, Kayla Rekieta informed child protection workers that April is their live-in nanny. This is not a true statement. All right, let's see how well this ages.
If you go back and read my complaint, this is a fun game of that insular telephone. that we're talking about here. This is one of the instances where it happens. It happens in another place too, but Kayla did not inform a child protection worker that Imholt is a live-in nanny. A child protection worker asked Kayla, according to the other complaint, what the status of our live-in nanny, Cheney, actually, what the status of our nanny was, our former nanny, Cheney, who she described as basically a live-in nanny. The CPS worker did. Kayla indicated that April was our nanny, and the CPS worker took that and made that into April being a live-in nanny. She did not say she was the live-in nanny because we have never had a live-in nanny, ever. Our former nanny was not a live-in nanny. April is not a live-in nanny. We don't have a bedroom for a live-in nanny. All our bedrooms are full of kids.
So where does April sleep? The Minnesota King sleeps 4. Oh my goodness. So what the fuck is this? Like, so that this is his argument? This is his argument? Well, Kayla did say that April was the live-in nanny, but she's not our live-in nanny. This is a lie by the court. We don't have a live-in nanny. We never did. What are you talking about? You lying conspiracy court worker? You slag? Alicia Sweep, you lied to the court? Kayla maybe said she was a live-in nanny, but she's not really a live-in nanny. Oh my. They had a live-in nanny. The nanny, that was she mentioned it before, Cheney or something. I saw her. She looks nice. She looks like friendly. She looks like she's got a good head on her shoulders because she was smart enough to quit the Rekieta's Baldo bunker. Didn't fall for the dungeon. But there was the idea of a live-in nanny before that they'd lost. And that was reported to the church members and gossip around the small town. And then it may be one of the explanations for why the kids were smelly and hungry at Sunday school, as reported by multiple sources. Aaron, the pastor, Kayla's own sister was a snitch in this case. The preschool teacher or Sunday school teacher, I forget which. Smelly and hungry children, not even doing the base requirements as a father. But yeah, so they used to have a nanny, and maybe that was reported to the CPS worker. So then she comes in and she's like, well, why is this random chick here in your house? Is she a nanny? And then like Kayla's doesn't shut her trap straight away like she should have. She's like, oh, yeah, she's the nanny. Okay. And she's like, okay, so she's the nanny. And then Nick's like, this is a lie, you dirty liar, Alicia Sweep. We don't have a live-in nanny. This is his argument. He sees and copes about this nanny detail for quite a while. This is it. What? This is the perjury that happened. All that other shit, that's true. But she's not a live-in nanny, even though Kayla said she was a live-in nanny. It's really actually impressive how he could lie in the same sentences like that. Like, it's just such pathological lying at this point that it's almost beggars belief, because you can overload people's brains if you just keep lying confidently enough. Because most people kind of give you the benefit of the doubt. Like, if you just lie about everything, the average person will just keep believing. That's how Boogie, like, nobody like questioned Boogie about cancer, even though Boogie's like a compulsive liar as well. And it's just like, well, yeah, what? Yeah, he lies all the time, but why? Surely he wouldn't lie about this sort of thing. There's just so many lies. It's kind of crazy. But there you go. That I was just like, I think I spat out my coffee when I heard that line. Let's replay that a little bit. Maybe just a 30-second replay.
Kayla indicated that April was our nanny, and the CPS worker took that and made that into April being a live-in nanny. She did not say she was the live-in nanny because we have never had a live-in nanny, ever. Our former nanny was not a live-in nanny. April is not a live-in nanny. We don't have a bedroom for a live-in nanny. All our bedrooms are full of kids.
You know what probably happened? They probably told the kids that she was a nanny, and the kids reported that to like Sunday school or some shit. They're probably like, there's this April lady. It's Auntie April. She's there 24/7. I guess she's our nanny or something. She doesn't really do anything, I suppose. But That's probably actually how it happened. Like the confusion happened. It's just like they asked the kids, like, why is this chick here all the time or some shit? Or like they indicated that to like the pastor or the Sunday school person. It's like, Daddy has a new friend. He had two friends, but one of them left. How does Nick think this will help his case? That's what's actually insane about this as well. Why would you, like, despite all of this insane nonsense, streaming her own hearing from his bunker, despite all the lies, despite all the cope and seethe, why would you talk about your mistress's court case? Is this like a humiliation ritual? Like, is this how he keeps control over his little cults? It's like, well, I'm going to make fun of you online today for my show. It just doesn't make sense. I can't process it. Why? Just why talk about this? I'm pretty sure that the last stream that Nick has done, the only streams he's done this week, is talking about his case when he was like doing his SEETHE sesh from last week with Dick, right? Oh no, wait. Was I wrong? No, oh sorry, those are videos. Okay, there we go. Live. Yeah, he last streamed it 1 week ago when he was talking about his court case results. Didn't stream for an entire week. Much too busy. Much too busy. I mean, that kind of makes sense. 2 women in a house, that'd be awful. I can barely stand one. Just kidding, ladies. Just kidding. but seriously though, what has he been doing for the last week? He's like really interested, really excited to get back to streaming. What's happening? What's happening over there? I guess he's doing all the research on like how to gaslight the opposition with how like, oh, the cops like they touch your head or some shit, and then you get metabolite. It just they touch your head and it just generates metabolites. Who can say? But yeah, to answer this question, it doesn't. Nick talked about this in his own locals chat. He's like, someone asked him, how does they think today's results worked on his case? And he's like, it's a neutral response. It's a neutral response. I don't see how this could be anything other than worse. It certainly isn't good. But I think, like I said, I think maybe it's like a humiliation ritual at this point. He's just like, got to dress down his woman or something, I guess. Who can say? Jules Studio for 2 says, our new nanny makes loud noises at night. Well, she's definitely louder than the previous nanny. Let's see what he says after this. That was the main point I wanted to see from here. Then we might go on and see. I want to take a look at the Nate the Lawyer stuff because that's kind of funny. Where were we? Here we are.
That being said,
oh wait, actually, there's a good point here from Flash. Good point here from Flash. The background was actually AI. It wasn't Nick's home. That could be a defense if Nick had not said in his own stream at the very beginning, it was my house. Like, all right, let's save the spot. We're at like 47:20. No, actually, maybe I won't bother it. But he literally says like, April was streaming from some location. No, it was my house. Of course, it was my office. He literally admitted to it. At least leave the amount of plausible deniability. It could have been a funny troll. Like if this was actually like an AI background and she wasn't in the house, and then like at the end of the stream, like if Nick had been thinking, what he would have had is have the AI background, and then just as the trial ends, April turns it off and she's actually in someone else's house, or she's in the trap house. That would have been really funny because that would have actually owned the A-logs. They would have been like, "Oh, Nick, what are you doing? April streaming from your bunker," and then she's like, "Oops, I turned off my background by mistake, teehee," and then it would just instantly destroy the A-logs. Why not just do that? That'd be so funny. Can't even have a little bit of fun in there, a little bit of thinking. All right, let's continue and see what he says. I'm not sure how much longer we'll listen to this, but it'll probably depend on what the chat wants. But it looks like he gets through the document and starts the stream in about 10-13 minutes. The microphone is the same as Nick's. Yeah, but they could have just transplanted the microphone. It's just a walk through the woods to the trap house. Or just do it in a different part of the house. Nick streams from like the kitchen sometimes, or the porch sometimes. Just stream somewhere else.
This is one of those things, though. It gets put in the complaint that this is what is said. That's not what was said. That is what the CPS worker decided to label our former nanny as, even though she never lived in our home at all. She says, technically or basically, I can't remember the exact wording, but it's either technically or basically a live-in nanny. And then that gets put onto Kayla as her making this claim, but that didn't happen. But of course, now what is
April is not in court for the crime of being a live-in nanny. Why are you talking about this? She's not alleged live-in nanny. We got him, lads. We got her. We finally got it. She couldn't get away with it for much longer. We got her. Live-in nanny confirmed. That's not what she's in. Why? It doesn't matter. None of this matters. But again, I guess this is just for Nick's audience more than anything, because they were eating this up. I don't know. Let me see what it's saying in their chat, actually.
The officers have used that statement in part as a basis for bringing this charge.
Let me see.
So here we have a government worker, and again, this isn't like some malicious lie, right? This is some statement.
There was a really funny chat that came in at some point saying like, we need your big brain on the case. It was an unironic chat too, but maybe it'll come.
I mean,
later.
maybe it is. I don't know. I'm not going to accuse her of that at this point. She lies in other places plenty of times. But giving her the benefit of the doubt, this is a statement where she's like, well, you guys have like a nanny or whatever, right? Like a live-in or something. And then because that's not our nanny. Actually, April over there is our nanny. She replaced the former one. She goes,
how can Nick confidently make this statement, even though it's completely unimportant? He wasn't there when this happened. So how does he know what Kayla said? Somehow he knows that he has no bleach in his house. Somehow he doesn't know if there's cocaine in his house, but he's 100% sure about what Kayla says at all the times. That's because he has this inbuilt understanding that he controls her completely, which is why she'll never turn on him. How can he know this? He wasn't there. He's making a statement of a fact. It says I mean, I guess if we saw the body cam, maybe we could verify this, right? But we can't.
oh, so the CPS worker goes, that's the live-in nanny.
He
Writes
should
it
have seen
down.
the body
that
cam.
becomes now.
Because the body cam is part of the discovery. So he should have it, or he should have it before trial at least. But until it my understanding of how the body cam is going to work is that it's currently confidential as it's part of an ongoing investigation. If the court case was dismissed, it would move from confidential to private. At that point, any of the people that were on the body cam could release it with their consent. But if it's admitted into evidence, it becomes public. So if this goes to court, and I don't think it's going to, I think that Nick's going to plea out like before it goes to actual court. If I had to guess, probably more so to protect himself from being embarrassed on the internet than actually getting his life together. But if it goes to court, we'll see it. And if Nick takes a plea, then he can submit it, or he can release it anytime he chooses to, because it'll no longer be a confidential, just be private.
Fact. But it's not a real fact. It's great. So please take notice, pursuant to Minnesota Statute 609.49, intentional failure to appear for duly scheduled court appearances may result in additional criminal charges in addition to any arrest warrant that may otherwise be issued by the court. This is weird, because what do you guys see where the crime is?
Well, yeah, it was the coke and the guns, but this isn't what April or Kayla are on trial for. This is just something they mentioned in the report. Why talk about this? Is this the only thing? Like, why poke holes in this? Is he trying to say, well, if one wrong in one thing, wrong in everything? Surely, right, guys? Wink, wink. Really makes no sense.
I know you can find, you can try and find a crime, like in these facts. You can say, okay, well, here, this might be a crime, this might be a crime, this might be a crime. Where's the actual accusation in this statement of probable cause?
The part where it says that the cocaine was on her cards.
They say in the complaint that she's accused of owning more than 1/4 gram of cocaine. Well,
where's the crime in this document? Now, it says that she's accused of having this cocaine on it. There you go. Yeah, that was, wow, we found it. We found the last clue. Amazing. Wow, good job, Nick. Amazing deductive reasoning, Detective Nicky.
They've got,
oh my goodness, the audacity of this Nicholas R. I guess he likes to go by Nick, but you know, the audacity of it all.
a couple different alleged sets of cocaine to choose from. Which one is it? And herein lies the problem. What is she accused of owning?
Cocaine.
So this is where you come into having the motion to dismiss, which I'll have to pull up because
there we go. That's the best I've got. My train
a
whistle.
second ago. See if I can get it now. Oh.
People were saying that Nick was drunk on the stream. I don't think so. I think he's just depleted from being from. Well, I was going to say something degenerate. I'm not going to.
Huh.
You can use your own imagination for that. Did he lose
Why
the
is
document?
case search down?
Or is he looking for something? Nick has never told a lie. That's a true statement.
Hold on. Let me see if I can. I think I have it on here somewhere.
Well, I'll read this chat while Nick looks for something. Dave with £5 says
I
Nick
know I have
relies
a
on
document.
obfuscation of the facts to deceive others. He does it as easily as breathing. Once you can see this, it no longer works. Yep.
Damn it.
Once you
This is down.
reveal
I
the
don't
man
know
behind
if
the
I'll be able
curtain,
to pull it up.
you can't go back.
Right.
Unfortunately, many people in Nick's chat didn't agree with that. That's fine. They're allowed to have. They just want to listen to funny Baldo man. He drinks whiskey and makes jokes about and talks about Trump and does the Trump voice. That's all they want. You can't blame them too much.
Now, maybe someone can send it to me, or I can find it somewhere. But hold on. There's a couple more chats. But yeah, here's. I wanted to get into that live-in nanny part because it's this interesting.
You want to get back to this live-in? Yeah, we got to see the. It's not over. The live-in nanny part's not over, guys. I forgot about this. Billy Oki with a 2 Singaporean dollars says, "Can't wait for the ball gag or the gag order on Baldo man. Hopefully they gag him with the Vibraldo, the newest product on this street. Like I need to cope sip if we're going to listen to any more of this. I'll be right back. Hold on, like 20 seconds. I'll give you 20 seconds of tax-free, shall I? Shout out to Lipstick Larry, the best song maker out there. Be right back. Don't go anywhere.
It is
Tax-free, guys. Tax-free
my
time.
Zannies, my hookers, my super chats too. Hit that button, cause every single super chat I got it tax-free, tax-free. Take out your pill bottles, shake your pills, shake your pills, because it's gonna be tax-free, tax-free, tax-free. Tell your wiggies that we got it. Tax-free in my little tin shack. Cats flying in tornadoes. Gun flopping up and down. Let's get the guns out. Gun, 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 gun. Shake it around when it's tax-free. Wiggle, wiggle.
All right. Back into the game, guys. Holy shit, it's getting warm in here. There's a typhoon approaching, by the way, you guys. So I may be typhooned tomorrow. We'll see. Cats flying in tornadoes. Yeah, the cats don't fold the bullshit, though. Unfortunately, I might if the tornado hits my house. We'll see.
Place
All
where the
right.
counties created this. And again, it's not necessarily nefarious. It's not like they went in there like, we're going to plant a live-in nanny in their house. Like that's weird, right? Could be helpful for some people, but
I mean, he's kind of ostensibly suggested that the cops went in there and planted coke on his child's head. This is according to Ethan Van Sciver, who is just fat enough to believe whatever Nick says. But EVS said that Nick sent him a message that said the cops had gloves that had cocaine on it, and it touched his daughter's hair, and that got the metabolites into his daughter's bloodstream somehow, which doesn't make sense because it wasn't cocaine found in the hair. It was metabolites that are produced by the body after ingesting cocaine. Now, Nick has said there's a very good explanation for the cocaine test. We have not seen what that explanation is, and this is the only explanation we know of, is the one he suggested to EVS. We'll have to see. Maybe it'll come out, maybe it won't. I don't think there's a good explanation for it. We'll have to wait and see. But anyway, let us continue. I mean, well, I was going to say that is what he's suggesting essentially. The cops are sneaking in and planting cocaine in his children's hair, but they're not just sneaking in nannies or some shit.
that's weird. If the county were to do that, they didn't have to, right? They have just a little inaccuracy, this minor inaccuracy where someone uses, again, a common vernacular of a live-in.
Look, you can't use facts and logic on civil law. That's not how law works. You have to gaslight your opponent until they just give up and don't want to talk to you anymore and offer you a plea deal.
But if you don't have a live-in, someone says, "Oh, is that a live-in nanny?" And you're like, "Well, kind of," or whatever. Like you might do that. And it doesn't matter normally, right? Because who cares?
It doesn't matter now. Kayla's not under perjury for saying that she was a nanny. April is not under accusation of being a live-in nanny. She's under accusation of having cocaine. And the entire statement is just insane because he's like, well, they're lying. Now, Kayla may have suggested that she's like, well, yeah, maybe she's like a live-in nanny or whatever, but she didn't say she was a live-in nanny. What? He needs the win. I guess that's what it is. I guess that's what it is. Prove Aaron didn't ply the kid with coke. The funny thing is, so there's there's an Aaron conspiracy theory, is that Aaron's behind it all and he's actually the mastermind and all the cops are steel toe morning bros. But what's funny is that since the cops arrested them in the morning and there was a lot of cop cars heading towards Nick's house and they probably were listening to the cops probably listen to the radio when they're driving, there's a good percentage chance, like a higher than average percentage chance that the cops are actually listening to Aaron or the steel toe show just as they were going to pick up Nick, which would be hilarious. That would actually be really funny if it turns out they're all toe bros. They're all down at Stoney's bar. Oh wait, sorry, we got to do the Stoney's bar segment. Oh shit, I got to talk about this in a second. Jerry Boy with $5 says, even if he takes the plea, even after all the coke dust has settled, what do you think will happen with the Baldovers? The reality is that he's probably going to get deferment or some other like two-year suspension, probation, something like suspended sentence. It's very unlikely he'll do any jail time. And if he does, then I lose $20 because I got a bet running on this. But it's a first-time non-violent offense. Most likely he takes a plea and he doesn't do any jail time. And as long as he's a good boy and he doesn't break probation, he'll be fine in like 2 to 3 years or something like that. That's what I would imagine what would happen. I think that's kind of like the majority opinion as well, is that most people think that Nick's not going to do time for this. Now, if he tries to interfere with his case, maybe he'll get the death penalty because he's just that annoying. It's possible if he keeps trying to play lawyer himself in court that could happen. He can only hurt his case. It's his case to lose, really. I mean, to go into prison or some shit. The court or the judge that's in his case is very strict on drugs. But again, it's a first-time offense, non-violent. If the coke charges are thrown out with the kids and that doesn't come back, because again, Nick has admitted himself, these charges can come back at any time. Maybe they're just waiting until it goes to trial. Who can say? You never know, right? If that does come back, he's got much worse charges and much worse chances. But realistically, he loses, takes a plea, and he has to live by the government, under the government's heel for 2 years or some shit like that. Maybe he does some community service, pays a big fine. Lord knows he can afford it.
You label someone a live-in or not normally. Now, though, that
how much time does April need to live in the house to be a live-in? Because as far as I can see, she's there all the time. Oh, wait, but we don't have all the pieces, right? We don't have all the pieces of the puzzle. Where is that? We got to get the puzzle out, guys. See, we only see April at Nick's house all the time, but that's not 100% of the time. And if you don't have the whole picture, if you don't have the whole puzzle, you might see the puzzle and think, I've got most of the pieces here. I've got like 70% of the pieces. But without all the pieces, you don't know what's happening here. You can't know by looking in the ship's window. You can't know unless you see everything, okay? Unless you have every piece of the puzzle, you won't know.
label has partially resulted in these charges. So it's kind of fun. Fun how crime works. Oh my God. Vaz Kalma says, how come the only women you can get are women you're giving money to?
That's not a, this is Nick's doing his weird thing. Weird. That's a weird one. Actually, chat, I don't give my women money. I just give them Coke. It's different.
Stop pay pigging for April and watch how fast she scrams. Meep, meep. Oh boy. All right, my friend.
That chat. I should have can't see that.
Sounds good.
Chat. I want to read that.
Carasola X. Nick, your house from an aerial view looks like a bent manhood. It's just not excited right now. You leave him alone.
Life imitating art, isn't it? It's amazing. Amazing. To be fair, all big houses kind of look phallic from this. Everything looks phallic if you look at it from above. Especially women. Especially women. Chujwa Studio says for 2. She's more lived in. She's more lived in than live in, surely. Yeah. You got to air her out before they get to the next they give it to the next dude. It's just his turn. And Stop Moss B with $10 dos. Wow, there's a lot of yellow boys today in the chat. I love my yellow people. I mean, I do live in Japan. New conspiracy. All the cops and judges are toe bros, and they're going after Nick for stealing Aaron's wife and cucking him. The funny thing is, there's a better than zero chance that this is true, because like I said, the percentage of toe watchers in Minnesota is particularly high. And that means that we got to... No, wait, we'll listen to this. I'll get into my Stony segment in a second.
Law, also, Birchmore wasn't just groomed. She got Epsteined even though cop caught on camera. Well, you're making my faith in the state just run wild. Gino says, you have a brilliant legal mind. Uh-oh.
Oh, here's the comment. I wish I could read it in chat. This is an amazing comment. I need to see it.
Waiting for the butt. We need you to analyze and give us your insight. Example, Rittenhouse. I find it disgusting. Attorneys grifting off your case. Oh, okay.
This is the actual... Even Nick is surprised. Even Nick is surprised when one of his fans says that they think he's smart. He's like, wait, really? Really? I thought I was just grifting retards. You guys like my legal takes? What? Wait, what? Did you hear that? The surprise? Someone's nice to him and he's shocked? Go back in the chat. Let's rewind that a little bit.
She got Epsteined even though cop caught on camera. Well, you're making my faith in the state just run wild. Gino says, you have a brilliant legal mind. Uh-oh. I'm waiting for the butt. We need you to analyze and give us your insight. Example, Rittenhouse. I find it disgusting. Attorneys grifting off your case. Oh, okay. Wait.
How does that make sense? When all that Nick does is grift off of people's cases. That's the entire point of his show. Like, don't get me wrong. I think that the Russell Greer shit was really funny. But he basically just spent the entire time making fun of a dude with a disability. And he justified it by saying, well, he's harassing Taylor Swift, so it's fine, because Nick is a Swiftie, of course. I mean, she is a white woman, so of course he's a Swiftie. He made fun of Ron Toye and all those guys as well, like making fun of their voices. He's making fun of Sean and making fun of Legal Mindset. He just spends all day making fun of people. And then the chat is like, well, I find it disgusting that people are grifting off of your misfortune. How could they? How could they? Do these people really have such low self-awareness? It really does beg a belief.
What do you want me to analyze and give you insight on? My case? I want to. I can't, though.
Is Sean a Swiftie? Really?
Grifty says, I'm sure you can find it on Kiwi Farms. I can. I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, in this stream, I think it's the beginning of the stream, Nick actually admits to going on Kiwi Farms. He's like, this will make the Kiwi bros really happy. But I was reading my thread. Well, I mean, we know he does it every day, but there you go.
No, I think I got it here. Just a second. Anime Sucks Cope and Sneed says, Nick, a conundrum has occurred. Do you think a general discussion thread centered around AI art of morbidly obese furries and scalies should allow morbidly obese furries and scalies farting? Yes or no? Morbidly obese and furries and scalies, the farting has to happen. Otherwise, it's just not reality.
So a little bit of the deepest lore on Anime Sucks Cope and Sneed. Apparently, he's just like an actual scaly, which is someone that's interested in like dragon fan art, essentially. And he posts just the same very fat dragon eating pizza and farting. And he sends it to Nick every stream. He sends it to Null every Matty. And apparently now he's really popular. Well, I mean, obviously the phrase Anime Sucks Cope and Sneed is very popular. And apparently they tried to start monetizing it. Like they're trying to do merch or some shit with the fat dragon farting pizza porn. It's very, very peculiar. Very peculiar. The internet is disgusting. We made a mistake. We need to go back. Return to monkey. It's the only way to do it.
You can't AI farting away from furries. Okay? And you know that. You know that. God. Have they invented enough gas for the furries yet? Hold on. I think I've got it in email here.
Is he actually looking at the picture?
Oh my God. So what happens when you don't check your email very often?
He does. The eyes look. I don't think he's drunk here. But these are some red eyes, and he is a bit slurry. I don't know. What do you think? Chances 1 to 10. What does he drink? He's drunk. He looks zoinked. He does look a bit weird. Maybe he was just taking his what is it, modafinil or something?
Mm-hmm. Oh, there. I think we got it. I think we got it. Friends, here's the motion to dismiss. Sorry for my lack of preparedness. Like I said, my overall disorganization is just going to come through heavy today.
All right.
Getting back.
So he goes through April's motion. I think we can skip that. But let us watch when April gets her last thing. Does he play that part?
A lot of our prosecutors are gone.
Okay, I'm not going to sit here and do this actually because it's getting annoying.
He missed the best part.
Long story short, they schedule it out, and then it goes into the rest of it's uninteresting to me.
They literally missed the best part. How sad. How sad. All right. I think that's enough of Nick. So we'll go on to this one. I want to see Joe's comments, but I think I had a time stamp here that said check 42 minutes. So we'll go to 42 minutes of this first and see what happens. So I apologize for the reappearance of Jabba and Salacious Crumb, but I want to see what Nick and Kurt have to say about it.
Like this with no wife and no kids who likes to travel around the world.
Oh, that's right. Now I remember why I had this timestamp. Hold on a second.
And obviously Rekieta's lawyer. So that's what he has to go up against. Everyone in Lawtube saying, you don't know what the F you're talking about, and Barnes saying, I'm the only one that knows.
Well, even Nick's lawyer probably knows it's not going to work.
Yeah.
He just has to try anyway.
The potentially criminal defense lawyer,
Potentially criminal.
Legal mindset that has very interesting travel patterns. I like that.
So this is really funny here. So like Barnes has been making fun of legal mindset, more like legal. No. So Barnes has been making fun of Andrew for living abroad quite frequently, despite the fact that Barnes travels quite a bit himself. He lives in Las Vegas, but doesn't work there. But I guess what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But there's a fun little comment here from Nate.
With interesting travel patterns. But one thing I'll say about Barnes has no wife. He has no kids. Right?
Yeah.
We could say, well, I wonder what the elderly man like this with no wife and no kids who likes to travel around the world, what is he doing in his spare time? Why can't he, that type of thing. But why though? Why? If you think his argument is bad, just fight his argument. But it shows you, one thing I think this all shows you is Barnes is just a bag of hot air. Because if he really could attack the argument,
I think he's just a bag of fat, but yeah, okay.
He wouldn't need to talk about his travel patterns. He wouldn't need to talk about all.
It's the Barnes
that's
cell
the reason
theory
why, because
confirmed.
he has nothing else. He's literally an empty suit. But again, I think this moves some people, but it doesn't move anyone who actually knows.
The only thing close to his heart is his wallet. Look at that. But that's interesting. It is fun though, because Barnes likes to say confession by projection. And what do we have here? Single elderly man living in Las Vegas who travels quite a bit. Interesting. But yeah, if he had a good argument, he would be
Nate,
taking
the
that.
lawyer, go back to being a policeman, I think, or covering like women's soccer or something.
I cover women's
civil
soccer.
law, God bless him. Stick to patent law, bro.
You're a patent
Good
lawyer.
Logic's done great conscientious reviews. Don't always agree with him, but he's done very thorough, fair reviews.
So if you like Nick, if you're on Baldo team, apologies, then you're a good old fashioned lawyer.
But most of Lawtube has been utter crap on this. They made legal look sharp. That's how bad it's been. They made legal look sharp.
You got Salacious Crumb on the side here.
Wow.
I think legal is sharp.
Did he say I did conscientious reviews? Is that what he said?
Yeah. No. You're a patent lawyer. You got to go back to patent law.
What did he say after that? He said someone did.
All right, I'm gonna skip through this, and I want to see what happens when Joe Logic shows up, because I heard there was some extreme Baldo washing, although I've only seen a little bit of it. So I think he shows up right about here. All right, there we go.
All right. I can arrest you for murder, right? Oh, I see something else illegal. I can arrest you for those illegal things. So it's not a general warrant. The warrant was specific, the circumstances and you getting other stuff is
Very true. Like the
is a
stream.
little
Much
different.
appreciated.
Oh, here comes Joe.
Yay.
Good. It was like, yay. Sorry, there was a. Was Barnes involved in the Alex Jones case? How did that go for him? Well, Alex Jones lost $1 billion. So, not great. Could be better. He just reversed billionaired him. Could have been better. Could have been better.
Joe, what's going on?
How are you? I gotta move my. Okay, first, is my audio okay? Because
It's not. Spoiler alert. Joe doesn't know what his mic is like.
I move my studio whenever I move my audio goes to hell.
Yeah, it sounds okay. It sounds okay to me.
It's not quite the quality that I'd expect, but
Yes, that's not your usual quality.
I
but
know it's
a
doing
little
the
raspy.
wrong thing. Damn it! All right. I think what Robert's getting at is similar to what I heard Nick get at, and you all know I'm not a criminal defense attorney. Okay, so
Good way to preface it, I guess, but okay.
so
And I'm a non-practicing non-attorney, so I should tell you that as well. Full disclosure. Oh wait, no, that's not true. I got inducted to the halls of Lawtube by the one and only Baldo Fuhrer himself. Where is that dang clip?
He also got some great lawyers in there. Let's see. Meme Copium. That's a good lawyer that he got in there.
There you go. I guess but Nick has never lied though, but never, obviously it's a joke. Let's continue. Oh wait, I muted it. I unmuted it now.
I think you're all dismissing their
Almost got
argument
me.
as being stupid or irrational or not sounding like this is something a lawyer
Audio
would
sounds
ever
like he's
say.
underground. Well, he is calling in from the bunker, so it makes sense.
And I think that dismissal is part of the pun, unwarranted.
Okay.
Perhaps. Assuming that
All right, that's funny. I like that little pun. Unwarranted. Very good, Joe.
their legal take is correct. But I know that when Nick was going through his motion, to the extent he was able to go through it, he made a point that when you get a specific warrant to go after a specific thing, and then you find evidence of another crime, you are duty bound before you seize evidence of a different crime to actually get a warrant to take and say, hey, look, we're only allowed to take this stuff, even if it's in plain view. The plain view doesn't open you up to say, now that we have a specific warrant for crimes, alleged crimes A, B, C, then now we can start pulling up other stuff that might be evidence of issues D, E, and F. Now,
so here's, before Joe continues, I'll give you my layman's opinion on this and why the cops would seize the weapons automatically. If they're going through and they're looking for coke, now, of course, it's illegal to have coke and guns. So already it's an illegal item, so they can just seize it. That's the reality, right? It's very obvious as well. There's also the concern that if they don't know who's in the house. Now, of course, April and Kayla would have said like, we're the only people in the house. But the cops don't know that to be true. For all they know, there could be a coked out addict behind every corner, perhaps in the master bedroom, like holding a knife to Sonny, hashtag save Sonny, because the master bedroom does have that hallway where April's purse was found, right? So the cops don't know. The cops don't know if there's another coked out adult in the house, because usually adults travel in pairs, despite what Nick might tell you. They don't travel in throuples typically. So if they find two women, they've already got Nick. There can be an automatic assumption that there's going to be another man in the house. Just from, you get that feeling, right? That's what kind of makes sense logically. And if you see guns lying on the bedroom floor, you should automatically seize those, because if you leave them on the ground, if you don't touch them, there's a chance that one of these coked out individuals that you don't know if they are or aren't in the house could go and then later grab that weapon and use it against you. So you automatically seize it. And if you seize it, then it's seized. And it doesn't make any sense to put the guns back, like after you feel like, well, let's put the guns back when we found it. Like that's just great. Once they've taken, they've got to tag them, right? Now, if the guns were like in a gun safe or something, then sure, I could see that being fine. But they weren't. And they were just like lying on the ground, like by the bed or under the bed. Now, to Nick's credit, which is, I don't see why I should give him any credit, but Nick claims that there was I believe he said there was a chamber lock. So you have like a, like a bag, like a bike chain basically that goes through the chamber. So it's impossible to actually put something in there. And that's as good as being locked if you don't have the key, because you're not going to be able to like open it. But again, he doesn't know who has the keys, so it makes sense to just seize the weapons. And that's just to keep safe. That's just to keep safe. I would do that. I sound like a communist. I guess because I don't want to be shot by a coked out addict. I sound like a communist? That's a weird thing to say. I love money. I love money. No, I'm not a communist. Weird thing to say, but okay, because I don't want to be shot. But yeah, that's the first thing the cops are going to do. Second of all, it is illegal to have the guns and the coke. That makes them illegal. That makes the nexus for them to be seized. So it seems pretty cut and dry. It seems pretty cut and dry. But hey, that's just a layman theory. Let's continue to see what Nick says. Oh, sorry, Joe says. Joe Logic.
Okay. In a scenario where, let's say, there's some sort of emergency or there's a danger to the cop, then in that case, I can understand there being exception to that. But in this particular scenario, I know Nick's take is, and I think this is what Barnes is getting at also, that seeing as how the house was secured, no one's resisting arrest there.
Well, they don't necessarily know it's secured. It's a big house. There's many rooms. There are lots of places to hide. Saying just because we know, using our meta knowledge, that the kids and the adults were under arrest at that point, or being detained at that point, whatever you want to say, the cops don't necessarily know that as a fact until they leave that residence, because they're not going through the attic, they're not going through the crawl spaces, they're not necessarily looking in all the cupboards and under the piles of clothes and digging through the tunnels of trash that are in Nick's living room, apparently, or the mountain of dishes. They don't know that the house is secure. They can assume that, maybe, but they don't know that for sure. So those guns are always going to be danger to them. And by the way, I have said that I think the charges of owning guns and having coke in the house is bullshit anyway. I will give that to Nick, that I don't think that makes sense under the Constitution. And people get mad at me when I say this. So I'm opening myself up to more criticism. Oh no. But I think if you can have alcohol in a house with guns, why can't you have coke and guns in the house? It doesn't make sense to me. They're both intoxicants. They both destroy your life. They both make you make bad decisions. It doesn't make any meaningful difference to me. So I do think that's unconstitutional. But the fact is, that's the law. And you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes.
They're in control of the entire premises, that there is a legal constitutional duty upon them not to extend a warrant that is exclusively given the right to search, and a warrant is two separate elements, a warrant not just to search, but to also seize evidence of drugs. Now, if you want to go into other crimes like possession of firearms or issues related to neglect that you now think you find, much as if, they go on and search someone's house and all of a sudden they're looking to find drugs and they find CP. You can't just start, collecting those pictures. You would need to actually ask a judge and say, hey, look, we think this is CP. We're not sure, but we think it's CP. So we want a warrant to seize this.
Is this like a hypothetical situation where they raid Vito's house and they find his collection of anime? His special style of anime. You know what I mean? Starts with an L, ends with an N.
And you'll get that warrant in 5 minutes. But it's a procedural step that they're obligated to do in order to help keep that divide, the constitutionally recognized divide between the state and the citizen, that there's a neutral arbiter in between who says, yes, go ahead and seize this. And I think their point is, I think what Nick and Barnes' point is that with respect to the guns, you can't just take those guns when the place is secured and you haven't gotten a warrant for it. And they should have gotten a warrant, and they could have gotten a warrant, but they didn't. And accordingly, those guns now, as far as evidentiary value, may be suppressible because they're seized absent a warrant. I think that's what Nick's point was, as I understood it when he explained it. If I'm mistaken about the law here, now you want to tell me that there's a plain sight exception that now says not you're allowed to actually seize it, that I'm wrong about that. You might be right on that, but I'll tell you that's what I understood.
So Nick, so if I'm getting this right, Joe Logic's opinion is that in a hypothetical situation where you go into someone's house, there's a big box and it says illegal shit on it. It's like they go into like some Disney villain's back, and it's like evil plan to murder all the kids or something. The cops have to get a secondary warrant for that because they're not supposed to be looking for that. Doesn't make a lot of sense, but is that what he's saying? Like in this weird hypothetical that would never happen? I mean, I suppose. suppose if it was just like a pile of like, yeah, like you said, like CP or something, perhaps. But it's a little bit of a stretch, my friend. Joe Logic.
Oh, all right. So two things. One, Barnes is putting himself out as a criminal defense guru, right? So, and
Barnes puts himself out as a guru on anything, and if you disagree with him, then you're a weirdo. Despite if you just listen to Swiss Mercenary Man, he's a Swiss mercenary lawyer. You can't stop him. He'll come down, he'll get you, and then he'll abscond back to his Swiss mountains where he's protecting the Vatican or something. I don't know. George Watt Studio with 2 says guns, coke, booze, wives, things that ruin your life. Yes, true. Do you guys really like? I don't know. People get really salty if you say that booze is basically the same as drugs. Obviously, there's a degree. Okay, I don't think that coke and marijuana are the same thing. But how are they really that different? A lot of people make just terrible decisions on alcohol. In fact, alcohol does a lot worse for society than any drug has ever. I'm pretty sure by a large, wide margin, not just from alcohol abuse, but secondary things like drunk driving as well. And you could say that maybe that's because it's more prolific in society, and you might be right. But I don't think that alcohol should be illegal. And if it shouldn't be illegal, then why should drugs be illegal? Now, there are some things you can probably. I'm willing to flex on things like meth, okay, but I think that some people get very, very upset about that topic. Exclude with a 50 Coronas says just because you found the tunnels doesn't mean you can take the molested toddlers. I mean, I was going to say that, right? Like the cops are duty bound. They find cages with slowly lowering guillotines. And every stop it's like, well, we're only here to look for coke. Sorry, lady. It's cops are like questers, right? They're like, you go into the caves to save 10 innocent victims, and they save 10 innocent victims. It's like, but you could save me too. It's like, oh, we don't get credit for the quest for saving 11. Sorry, we're out of here. We got to take the Hearthstone back to town. That's just a waste of time. It's on the warrant. I was only contracted to save 10 innocents. And Stop B Moss with another 10 says, aside from the coke, there was no crime. Therefore, Nick was innocent. I mean, that's pretty much his argument.
I've written search warrants, executed search warrants, and I've defended search warrants as a prosecutor and a cop. So
see, this is what I really do like Nate. This is so funny though. Barnes is like, oh, what is it? This Nate guy go back to women's soccer or some shit, and Nate has actually done all this shit that Barnes is role playing, pretending that he has. He actually has done all the things. He has perhaps the best out of all of Lawtube. He might have the best understanding of these processes.
From my experience is that if we're going into a place and we're looking for item A, right? But in this case, it's cocaine. Mm-hmm. Then we go in, and so there are a couple of rules that you can't overcome. Like we used to call it the elephant in a suitcase rule. If I'm looking for an elephant, I can't look in a suitcase, right? So if that happens, then obviously. So if I'm looking for a person, then I look into your purse to see if a person's in there. That doesn't work. So there are rules on how you can search. But in this case, especially when you're talking about drugs, you're talking about something that's very small. So you don't have this elephant in a suitcase issue. Right. That's what Kurt was speaking to earlier. So now we're talking about the plain view exception is if a cop is legally in a particular place, besides the warrant, legally in a place and sees criminal activity, you see cocaine, you see whatever, you can search it. Let's say, for instance, if a cop is on the street and sees somebody doing a drug deal, they can arrest that person, but do they need a warrant to now search that person and remove the drugs from their pocket? No, because the drugs, even though I'm arresting that person, I can still seize anything else. They may have a gun. I can seize that gun, and I can charge them with the gun violation. So in this particular case, when they went into Nick's house with the warrant, their warrant gave them the legal right to be in that place. Now, when they're in that place, the cocaine is illegal. So now they seize the cocaine. Now, if you see something else that's illegal in there, you can seize it because the Fourth Amendment guarantees you can seize stuff. The government can seize stuff based on probable cause. So you're telling me,
I mean, that sounds just completely logical and makes perfect sense. How can we cope about this fact, Mr. Joe Logic?
You're telling me. I'll take it to a different thing. I'll stay away from the gross type of crimes. Let's say they see a whole bunch of financial records that they say, in our estimation, this looks like tax fraud. They go in there on a drug bust and they're like, we think this is tax fraud. So we're going to seize all of their files here because we think all their files, which are in our site,
let me stop.
These files because we think that this is evidence of tax fraud.
Let me stop you right there. The law says it has to be obvious. Obvious. Plain view is not about me looking through your papers and evaluating it. It has to be obviously illegal.
It's plain sight.
And also in your example, the problem there is that there's an additional intrusion because they would presumably have to remove the top page to look at additional pages. Because there was a case, I think, that went to the U.S. Supreme Court, if memory serves correctly, where the cops were looking at a gun and they looked at the serial number, but in order to look at the serial number, they had to move something.
Move it, yeah.
In order to look at the serial number.
And that was
it's like, no, that's an additional intrusion because it wasn't in plain view because you had to move something to go see the thing. It wasn't plain view.
You're really arguing with me on a specific rather than the philosophy.
Hey, Kurt, stop using facts and logic. You're supposed to entertain my hypothetical situation where they've got a big folder that says tax-free fraud on it, okay? You can't... Look, Kurt, stop quoting case law and making actually situations that occur. Like, you have to entertain my ridiculous hypothetical, because if I can't take things to ad absurdum, then how can you be arguing with me in good faith, Mr. Kurt and Mr. Nate? This is ridiculous. I can't believe I came on this stream to be insulted by these dishonest arguments. Oh my goodness. Holy shit. It's so... It's not complicated, but law found a way to make it complicated. To be fair, though, in every courtroom, lawyers disagree with each other. Like, this is one thing that I found very annoying, both on Lawtube and on Law Twitter, is that they'll say things like, well, the majority of lawyers agree with me. This means it must, like, when in actuality, basically every single court case, 50% of the lawyers disagree with each other, because that's just how law works. So yeah, they're going to have different opinions, but taking this to like a crazy situation, it's just doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense, Joe.
I'll make it very simple for you. You're there on a drug bust, and sitting there. You're there on a drug bust, and sitting there on the screen, is a big screen that takes up the whole room, coming from a computer, is a thing which says, "This is our tax fraud scheme." Okay, and it's very clear that this is.
Let me make it single for you. You go into a room. There's a computer that says, "I'm a criminal. This is my." It's literally that Simpsons meme where they trick Bob into showing him his plan on how he rigged the election. Oh no, now I'm going to flag something, aren't I? Oh well, it'd be nice knowing you, lads. Let me make it for you. Let me make it simple for you, Joe. It's illegal to have coke and guns in the same room. They were in the same room. That's making things simple. It's KISS. Keep it simple, stupid.
Tax fraud scheme that they sold.
Oh, this is such a great argument. I love this. I love this argument. I need to hear more about the computer that tells you you're a tax fraud scheme, even though everything is tax free. Like literally, they go to Ethan's house and he's just singing tax free. The cops go to Ethan's house and he's wiggling around saying tax free.
Wiggle. You best not fold the bullshit because these super chats, they all tax free. Wiggle.
It's literally the tax-free argument. Interesting. Where was I? Here we are.
Room coming from a computer is a thing which says, "This is our tax fraud scheme." Okay, and it's very clear that this is a tax fraud scheme that they sold for that this company was using, and the CEO who you're doing a drug bust on, that this is his tax fraud scheme. So are you telling me that for your drug bust now, that you don't need to get an additional warrant to seize that computer? You can take that computer because it's in plain sight now that coming from this computer is evidence of tax fraud.
Right. Even in this hypothetical situation, they couldn't necessarily take the computer because maybe the tax fraud screen is just like the screensaver or some shit, and they have to move this. They have to move the mouse to move the screensaver. Like, what is this argument? It's absolutely. Is this the level of logic going on in the bunker? Is this the stratagem? I don't think it's going to work out too well.
I'm not asking you. That's the plain view that you're saying that you don't need to get another. Listen, I don't know the law. I don't know. I'm not talking about the law. I'm telling you, to me, I would think you might need another warrant on that.
I'm just trying to explain to you how the law is in this particular instance, right? Plain view is just about if I see something obvious criminal activity aside from the other criminals. So you're saying there's a computer there, and they have on the computer, this is our blah, 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 blah. If they seize that and take it to a judge and says, Judge, on the computer, it says, these are all our criminal activities, these were crimes. You know what the judge is going to say? Well, if it's plain view, and you can see it from when you were searching, you can see it and you can read it just like anybody else.
Then you're allowed to seize it.
Matter of fact, it is so, hold on, let me just make it even more clear. There's a case in which the cops smelled something, and they argued, oh my God, the cops smelled it. It wasn't in plain sight, it wasn't plain view. They were like, well, the cops can even use their sense of smell. They smell like, marijuana or whatever, to also say that that's enough for criminal activity for a search. So the cops can use any of all of their senses. But in this particular case,
Nate's being very polite to Joe, I think.
Plain view doctrine has to deal with something that is obviously illegal. And so if Nick's, let's say for instance, if Nick's guns were somewhere where it wasn't, were somewhere where it wasn't obvious, it was locked up, it was somewhere where the cops had to go this extra mile to go find them, then yes, you can make the argument. But if they're in plain view in the search area and they say, well, you got cocaine here, well, you got guns, you can't have guns with cocaine. The guns now are illegal because
it'd be very useful for determining whether the cops were rifling through gun cupboards looking for guns, body cam footage. We could see if when they walk into the master bedroom, if the guns are in plain view sight. That would mean that the body cam could exonerate Nick of his gun charges. But unfortunately, he doesn't want you to see that. So I guess if only there was some sort of body cam footage we could use to verify these claims that the cops are taking undue liberties. They're touching children's heads and infesting them with cocaine. If only something such a thing existed. If only 50 hours of such a thing existed. Oh my goodness. Can you imagine the 50-hour body cam stream? Holy shit.
Because you have cocaine there. So yes, you have, and the key point to this is that you have probable cause that a crime has been committed. You have guns with cocaine. The probable cause is that you see it. You're in the house with it. You see it as the cop. That gives you probable cause to seize the cocaine and to seize the guns.
To my understanding of probable cause gives you a license to get to make sure that you're safe from being harmed by this potential criminal, and then to go get a warrant. Probable cause itself is not a warrant. That's my point. And that's why, and it sounds as if you're treating the probable cause of this additional crime as in and of itself a warrant. And I don't know. I haven't researched the law. I don't know. So what I'm saying is, sounds as if why once you have probable cause, why do you need a warrant? You have probable cause.
So this is all right. So this is all right. So just to let you understand how it works, the Fourth Amendment guarantees you rights from.
You're saying once they're in there, I understood what you were saying. That you're saying the probable cause plus a warrant that they opens up license for a warrant on everything.
Hold on. What you're
no, just everything in plain view. Yeah, I don't understand why this is so difficult.
What you're saying.
I mean, Joe did train under the master.
Why don't you need a warrant for everything, right? Because technically, every arrest, like 90% of the arrests, any police officers in the chat is going to tell you 99% of the arrests they make are warrantless arrests. Right. They're seizing people without warrants, but the Constitution says you need a warrant to make that arrest. So how do you overcome that, right? Millions of people are being arrested without warrants all the time. That's because the warrant requirement is a requirement to go to a judicial officer and you can get arrest warrant, but you can obtain.
I've respected Nate since the very beginning when he sent me a $20 super chat. That was like one of my literally the first 10 to 15 streams or something. That's how loyalty works. It's all bought. No, just kidding. But no, I haven't seen that much of Nate, but he always seems to have a pretty good understanding of the law because he practiced what he preached, right? He did a lot of the stuff. He was a cop. He was doing these things. He was applying for and executing warrants. It makes sense.
Probable cause through other means. You don't have to go to a judge and say, here's my proof of probable cause. Probable cause can be apparent. So for instance, if I'm a cop in the street and I see one person shoot someone else, I don't need to then go to a judge and say, hey, I saw this guy shoot to give me a warrant. as a police officer, I've seen that shooting, and now I have probable cause to make an arrest and seize the evidence of the crime. So the warrant, you can have the warrant, or the police officer can develop probable cause through other means. But Justice Clarence Thomas makes this point clear. The key point of the Fourth Amendment is the reasonableness requirement, and probable cause is the determination of reasonableness. So that's why a lot of times if a cop arrests someone without probable cause, you can then sue them. But probable cause is the key element for search and for seizure. The warrant is great to have, but it's probable cause that the police need to do either. And 99% of searches and seizures happen without a warrant, or dependent on.
I might speed this up a little bit because I want to try and get through a bit more. We're going to want to go to 1.25. See if it's bearable. Let me know if it is, chat.
Probable cause.
So I was under the impression that the reason why you have all those warrantless arrests is because the cop there is in an exigent type of circumstance, meaning you just saw someone grabs a purse or hold up a gas station. So now we're not going to put the cop in danger by making him go through, call a judge and say, hey, can I have a warrant to arrest this guy? But that once you have an area that's already secured, that if you're going to be seizing additional stuff that are outside the purview of the underlying warrant, that you would need to get a second warrant because there's nothing stopping you from getting that warrant. There's no danger to the cop. There's no reason not to make them go through that step to make sure that they're not unreasonably seizing a computer and claiming, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? This way they can say, this is what we see. Can we now seize this computer? It kind of makes sense to me that would be a required step. But again, I'm not claiming I know the law on this element of it. As it happens, I'm actually rebutting. I told Kurt earlier today, in my stream that I'm starting in 15 minutes or 13 minutes, I got to get my notifications out, that is actually rebutting his assessment of oral arguments. I wasn't planning on addressing this particular topic. When we were talking about this, it made me think that I was like, I want to weigh in and get your opinion on this. You're telling me I'm wrong. You're telling me I'm wrong on the law, though. You're telling me I'm wrong on the law as far as needing
But I just want to be extremely clear. 99% of searches and seizures that happen by the government happen through warrantless arrest. There is no warrant involved because as long as the police develop probable cause for the search or the seizure, that is enough. Now, Kurt has a case, Horton v. California.
Yeah, while you guys have been talking, I've been doing some case law research in the background. So this case seems like it might be on point. Horton versus California, U.S. Supreme Court, 1990. In January 1985, the treasurer of the San Jose Coin Club returns from the proceeds from an annual coin convention which Terry Bruce Horton attended. Upon entering the garage, two robbers accosted him, one with a machine gun, another with an electric shocking device. They threw him to the ground, shocked him, and robbed him. Sergeant Leroy determined there was enough evidence to do a search of the home and obtained a warrant. His affidavit for the search warrant described both weapons and the proceeds of the robbery, but the warrant only granted permission to look for stolen property. While searching the house, he did not find the property, but he did find a machine gun, a .38 caliber revolver, 2 stun guns, and a handcuff key. So it's like, okay, in this case, this guy gets only a warrant for the proceeds of the robbery, but while he's there, he finds all these machine guns.
Yes.
Okay, so he seizes them. The evidence was admitted into trial, and Horton was found guilty. Court of Appeals affirms. The California Supreme Court denies review. Question: does the Fourth Amendment prohibit warrantless seizure of evidence in plain sight if the discovery of such evidence was not inadvertence? No. Writing for a 7-2.
Yeah, the no meme is like the best meme of all time when everything's just like no, but it looks like it's a 7-2 majority. Interesting. That's look, Kurt, not allowed to bring facts and logic into an emotional argument. That's very rude of you, if I'm being honest. You did forget that Nick made you disloyal. I made you, Kurt. I made you. How could you, Kurt? How could you? You're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to look things up. That's like, what are you, Destiny? Are you like some cringe liberal Destiny looking up things? Ugh. Ooh, you're supposed to just make up. Like, source should be, I made it up. That's how the internet works. Just very disrespectful.
The majority held a seizure of evidence in plain view does not constitute invasion of privacy that the Fourth Amendment is meant to prohibit. Once an officer has a warrant to search a house, that officer may seize any obviously incriminating evidence the officer finds in plain view. Yeah, so I think this case seems to suggest against.
No, it doesn't suggest. It blows up my argument. It blows up my.
I got to give respect to Joe here. He could have made another crazy hypothetical situation, but he's like, you know what? Okay, never mind. Good for Joe. Good for Joe. I appreciate that.
Argument completely on this particular element. I agree with you 100%. That Horton seems to be right on point. It blows up my argument that I was saying they need to get a new warrant. Supreme Court says no, Joe, they don't. So you're right. And my thoughts on this, this is how I understood Nick and Barnes to be arguing. I might have misinterpreted their argument, but that's how I understood their argument. I'm glad you actually helped bring that case to light. And you're right, and I was wrong on this.
Well, take a closer look at it if you like and make sure. But it seems to be on point because the guy's like, yeah, I only had a warrant for the. I only had a warrant for the. I even went.
So everyone's turned against Barnes at the and Jabba and Salacious Crumb right now.
Went so far as to ask for permission to seize both the weapons and the proceeds, and I didn't even get it. All I got was the permission to get the proceeds, and I didn't even find the proceeds. All I found was the weapons, and that's all I seized and prosecuted based on that, and that was okay. So I'm like, well, that seems to, yeah.
Yeah, and the only issue is that Barnes knows if Barnes is a defense attorney, he would know this because this is black letter law in criminal defense. But you know, his clients do some real time.
I got to bounce. Maybe if you want to redirect people over to me when you're done, I'd appreciate it.
Oh, okay, cool. I'll set it up right after.
Thank you, brother.
Oh, wait a minute, you sneaky Joe. Oh, I see what you're doing there. Oh, you know what? I was wrong. Guys. By the way, I'm streaming in 5 minutes. I guess I agree with you guys now. Oh, you sneaky boy. No, like honestly, like if we're being honest about it, good for Joe. Good for Joe for admitting when he was wrong. Freedom Ring says with $5, I'm going to do a stream reacting to meme stream, reacting to Nate's stream, reacting to Nick's hearing stream. Let's keep it going. That streams all the way down. It's fun like that. It does get a little bit silly at times, like, but you know, if you want to go for it. Have a lot of fun. It's the internet. That's what people forget about this. We're all just here to have a giggle. I know a lot of my viewers, they're getting ready for work or something because I stream at night my time, but apparently it's morning for everyone else. It's the Steel Toe meme show, I guess. So yeah, if we're all just having a bit of a laugh, obviously, like there's serious topics. This was kind of crazy about this in particular. Is like if you go back to the first stream I did, it was like I was sad. I was actually sad because like I used to be a long time Nick viewer. I stopped watching about like a year and a half or so ago. And I kind of was like, I don't want to make, because like, you know, credit where credit's due. The Kino boys, Ashton and Andy, they started making fun of Nick a long time ago. And I was like, it feels wrong. I was a fan. I know a lot of stuff about him. He's having a bad time. I don't want to get into this. But then when like the arrest happened, I was like, all right, this is enough is enough. And then like as it's gone on, I've just had, all you can do is laugh about it because, you know, how else can you process the information? So have a giggle, have a bit of a fun. And it is what it is. To be fair, Parallax, my channel is called Copium. I don't think anyone can give. This is the utmost integrity from Mr. Meme Copium. I expected better from him, that homo. Oh my goodness, that's so funny. COG can be funny from time to time, but not like in a funny haha way. Like it's funny like, you know, like when the clown car crashes and they all die, and you're like. That's kind of funny, I guess.
Hey, brother. They get away with this for years.
Comrade Copium. That's a good one.
Say we're going to get this, and this. And then they go in and they say, oh, it's in plain view. I just saw it. Well, of course, that is basically it as courts started to figure out, hold on a second. That would be meaning you have a general warrant. I give you a warrant for something particular, but anything you see while you're in there, you can take. That's a general warrant.
You see, I'm glad you pulled up the case law because he's just...
So Barnes is just absolutely wrong.
He said the Supreme Court is wrong. The Supreme Court is wrong. Did you hear that?
Well, the Supreme Court might be wrong, but you know, and hey, if you want to disagree with the U.S. Supreme Court, you have my blessing. I disagree with the Supreme Court all the time, but not as much since they struck down Chevron, baby. Woo!
Chevron is gone. But this plain view doctrine has been the law for so long. It's like ridiculous. Everybody, but again, if he's a criminal defense attorney and he doesn't know about the plain view doctrine, don't hire this man because he's going to get you locked up. Plain view is the thing. Plain view is the thing.
You have a general warrant.
It's not a general
I give you a warrant for something particular, but anything you see while you're in there, you can take.
Anything you see that's obviously illegal.
Yeah, it does have to be open. It has to be open. It has to be obvious. It has to be in a place you're entitled to be. You cannot do any additional intrusion. So you can't move the piece of cloth because the gun is partially covered by a t-shirt. You can't move the t-shirt to look at the serial number to confirm it's the gun. You can't do that. But as long as you're in the right, you have the place to be, as long as it's in plain view, as long as it's no new intrusion, as long as it's obviously evidence of a crime, then it seems like you're there.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a general warrant, which is exactly what the Fourth Amendment is supposed to always prohibit. It has to be particular with what it describes as to what is searched and what is seized. Yeah. And so that was problematic. They seized all the guns, charged them with things related to the guns. The problem is they had no basis to seize the guns. The guns weren't related to they knew about it before and didn't even request it seizure. It didn't get approval from the warrant, and it wasn't connected somehow. They didn't see, oh, I see the gun connected to this somehow.
I'm almost embarrassed for Barnes for making these arguments, right? I'm almost
no.
embarrassed for him because
Barnes Bros, no, it's over. Back to those Swedish mountaintops. The mercenary assailant. He has to leave. Oh no. Embarrassing. Sad. Pathetic. Barnes, what are you doing? Does Viva just agree with everything Barnes says? Or is he just like the color commentary guy or something? I know he's a Canadian. Oh my god. Bear. Sorry, I apologize, chat, for saying that word. The day of the rake soon leaves. But yeah, he just like giggles and is always like having a bit of a giggle, which is fine, I suppose. I mean, I do think that having a giggle is fine. He's a bottom? Nah, come on now. There's no way that Barnes could get on top. Look at him.
anyone who knows anything about this
Canada
part of law would know what he's talking is full BS. But
that makes it a nexus to the underlying criminal activity that you're allowed.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. Can the chat help regale my memory? So 200 Studio says for 2. This year has really exposed Barnes, it seems. Wasn't the first time Barnes was on Rekieta's show, like Rekieta was making fun of him? Like he found his channel, I'm pretty sure, and he just ripped him apart for like a solid hour. And then Barnes went on Nick's show and they were friendly or something? Wasn't Nick's first... Even Nick could see that Barnes was a ridiculous... Is that Barnes or is that somebody else? I feel like that was Barnes. I don't know, though. I think I must have... that part of my brain is not as good as it used to be. Viva deleted this video? No! That can't be true. That was... Oh, was that Ron Coleman? Are you sure? I don't know much about Ron Coleman. What's he like? Is he a good lawyer? Bad lawyer? Who can say? Is this really deleted? Because I was making fun of this video a few days ago. I do have to criticize Nate and Kurt for that. I saw this way before them. Was it Viva and Barnes? Viva Frey? Is it Viva and Frey or is it Viva and Barnes? Did they delete this video? Oops. Mar-a-Lago trip. I can't see it. No, it's still there? Okay. Apparently chat's saying it's still there, so I'll believe them. Chat's always right. It was Ron Perlman. Yo, little Donnie. I just pissed all over my hands. What do you think about that? Oh my goodness. Have you seen that cat that looks like Ron Perlman? That's the best one. Like we talk about the white person dog, but the cat that looks like Ron Perlman is the best. I gotta show you this cat. This cat is like just amazing. We're starting to veer off topic, chat. We're starting to veer off topic. Look at this cat. Look at this cat. Yo, master. I just shat outside the kitty box, and I knocked your shit off your table. What do you think about that? Oh, I wish I had this cat. He's so adorable. Look at him. Oh dear. Oh, we got to talk about. Oh, sorry, I forgot. There was something. There was a whole intro I was going to do. I've got a list. It's called The Big Book of Nick's Lies. List of Nick's broken promises. Let's see if you can make up 10 broken promises in your head and see if they match this list. Okay. I'm going to read through them. And if you get, it's like bingo. And since we're all old people here, we love bingo. We love bingo. 24-hour stream for 100K subscribers. I remember that. I literally remember that because, like I said, I was a long-time Nick follower. I think the first time I saw Nick's show was when he was doing the Tonkasaw stuff, when he was like Andy Warski, basically. So you can blame Andy for all of this. But I remember that because I remember watching the first 24-hour stream. He had Drexel on, they were playing Battletoads. It was a fun stream. I didn't catch all of it, but it was... I used to watch Nick's show in the evening because it comes on evening. It used to come on in the evening Japan time. And I would like... well, actually, no, I guess it comes in the afternoon Japan time. But I would watch the replay. So I was replay crew, and shout out to my replay crew who were leaving me some very funny comments, and hopefully they're liking the stream because live chat crew is sometimes a bit lazy and they don't hit the like button. But I remember that 24-hour stream promise, very disappointing. That was 300,000 subscribers ago, but I guess he's headed back down. So if he passes 100,000, maybe he'll redo that promise. Media channel reviews. I think he did like one review, but he was gonna do like EFAP stuff. He was gonna review stuff like Lord of the Rings, like I'm reviewing that now. Regular gaming streams. Well, he did some irregular gaming streams where he was wearing women's clothing. He was clog dressing. Nick invented it. But he used to play Risk of Rain, so but those coming back, that's not going to happen. Regular film streams. Well, he stopped doing those because I think Amazon took away the watch together thing. Rittenhouse super chats. Is that no? That can't be a broken promise. Did he just not read the chats from Rittenhouse? Was he just getting too much money? Legal intern and employees. I remember this one. He was going to hire a whole legal team. Nick was going to make so much content that you couldn't keep up. That was his business strategy. I do remember that. Actually, interesting comment here. That's probably going to get a lot of hate from the rest of the audience. Do you do anime, manga, light novel reviews? No, but I do have a light. Well, I have like a manga, I guess, over here. I do want to do something with this book. Like I was thinking of animating this. It's a copy of The Shadow over Innsmouth, which is my favorite Lovecraft story, and it's about the fish people basically. And it's like part light novel. It's part light novel, part manga. And it took me so long to track down a copy of this, and it's like one of my prized possessions. But it's pretty cool. I don't know what this guy's problem is. But no, I couldn't give you any anime reviews. The last anime I watched was like Dungeon Meshi, which is pretty entertaining. It goes from like fun anime to like Lovecraftian horror pretty quickly though. But some other ones that I watched recently, like there was a guy, not Brandon the anime guy, who's competing for SEO with Joey the anime man, which is a very unfortunate thing because he's like one of the biggest YouTubers in Japan. But Brandon the anime guy recommended to me watch Dungeon Meshi, which I did like. I watched Oshinoko, which is pretty good actually. Surprisingly so. It actually has a lot of relatable things for YouTubers, I think, because of the way and the audiences react to things and things like that. I saw that. I like that. I really like Psycho Pass. That's one of my favorite animes. Trying to think what else. I don't really have that. Oh, I like Watamote. That's like it's like cringe humor. Are you fluent in Japanese? Yes. If there's no other question following this, if there's no follow-up questions, the answer is yes. My Japanese isn't as good as my friends, but it's okay. It's okay. All right. Back to the list of broken promises. Where were we? Collaborations with various creators. Well, this one was confirmed. This one was, if you were a woman with big tits, then the collaboration is confirmed. Here's the big one. 5K locals gift. It's never going to happen, bros. It's never going to happen. The amount of money he's spent on shit that could have gone for that local. Like if you're an actual local supporter, then I feel bad for you. Oh, there's actually some good comments in the chat right now. Hold on a second. Are you the new Stefan Moller meme or whatever? $1 You couldn't give one fucking... No, I actually used to like Stefan Molyneux quite a bit. I was very sad when he was banned. I used to love his Truth About series. I think like I first saw his like Truth About George Floyd or something. But Molyneux was pretty good. But he got really into the politics too much, I think, and he became like a little bit obsessed with like he was like angry, like almost in tears every other stream. I feel like that content was kind of less interesting, and then he got banned from the internet. It was like he just disappeared overnight. Like he came to New Zealand, and I was in New Zealand at the time. I wasn't going to go see him because I was in Wellington and he was in Auckland. But he got banned from performing in Auckland, and then I remember I was on the bus, and there was a woman reading about the terrible, like, worst thing to happen, Antichrist Stefan Molyneux visiting New Zealand, and she was like reading the article, and I was like looking over her shoulder, and I was like, oh my goodness, I'm among the normies. What can I do? What can I do? I think he's still got a show on like one of these fringe platforms, but I don't know. But yeah, I used to like Molly Meme quite a bit. Back to the list of big book of broken promises. Clip channel content. Well, that was filled. That got filled in by Alyssa and everyone. I think is Alyssa still in prison? Alyssa went on 1 week YouTube prison. I think because she uploaded a video about Lucas Gage or something like that. But hopefully she'll be back soon. Chad Dad streams. Oh, that's another broken promise. Those I actually used to like the Chad Dad streams. Those are good streams. But he stopped being a Chad, and I guess he stopped being a father because he couldn't even feed his kids. So it's going to be a while before those come back. big brain panel stream. The funny thing about the big brain panel streams is that the real big brains are the people that never came back, like Mr. Peacock. He knew that it was never, he was like, whoa, I'm going to get out of here well early. Father's Day stream, broken promise. Oh my goodness. Was he supposed to have his dad on for that? Weird Seattle business venture, broken promise. I remember that. Yeah, he was talking about some guy very like tacitly, right? Like he was like, oh, they've got this guy in Seattle. We've got something big, guys. You're going to love it. Wasn't he also promising like his own comic or something like that? Was that the Seattle thing? His heretical Bible content on locals. Well, he did do one of those. So that is a promise that was kept. Poor Kendra Paris, Second Amendment stream and red flag laws. Yes, he never did those, did he? Live chat Wednesday. Yeah, those are gone. They never come back. The Discord in general. Did he just nuke his Discord, right? Like I was never in the Rekieta Discord. But you can join my Discord if you join as a member. Got to do a little bit of a grift there. But I think the funny thing about Nick nuking his Discord is he replaced it with locals. He just like straight up replaced it with locals. But I think like all the like Discord refugees went to Sean's Discord, and that's why they're so salty about Nick, and that's why they enjoy their salt mining, especially because they're like they had no home. They were a people with no home, and they got evicted from Nick's Discord, so they went to Sean's Discord. Sean's Discord's a lot of fun. I usually lurk in there a little bit. Sometimes I even respond. It's pretty funny whenever I go on Sean's stream. Someone will be like, "Oh, I don't like this other guy," and I'm like, "Oh, come on, just give Sean a chance." The Vic era knives auction. Holy shit! Did he just steal those? I remember that now. Like, so somebody made some custom knives. They made these like custom made knives with like wooden, like, you know, like inlaid handles and like they're all like polished up with like walnut oil or some shit. I don't know. And he was going to auction them off and then give the money to Vic. Did he just steal those knives? Like he couldn't figure out how to, he's like, I don't know how to sell these knives. Maybe I'll do a raffle or something. Did he just fully steal that? Does he have those knives? Are they using that knives to make crack in their own house? Holy shit, I forgot about that. His coloring book. Yes, he wanted to do an adult coloring book. Well, now he just colors in April's tits. Merchandise store. Yeah, he never updated that. Getting that weird cancel actor on. Was that the voice actor that did the voice of Kalthalos was that the guy? Because there's a dude, and he voiced Kalthalos in Warcraft. I'm trying to think of some of the lines for it. I should know this because I played Warcraft 3 quite a bit. What did he say? I can't remember shit. Someone give me some Kalthalos lines. Oh, I remember I remember one. Oh, don't look so smug. I know what you're thinking. But Tempest Keep was merely a setback. Did you honestly think that I would leave the future of our people to some blind half-night elf mongrel? Oh man, Kalthalos was the best. But they straight up replaced him. I'm not sure if that's the same guy, but he got like cancelled. He got cancelled for like a Me Too thing, and then it was just fully fake. But his lines are gone from Warcraft forever. Very, very, very sad. Getting Norm Patterson was I don't know who Norm Patterson is. His hot yoga thought stream on Twitch. I think he did deliver on that. My tism is showing. You know that I'm Tizic, right? Various travel streams. Well, he's going to travel backwards and forwards to the courthouse. Does that count? Baldo review. Did he never do the Baldo review? That feels like something that he should have did, right? And, we got to talk about, do you guys know about propinquity? Oh my gosh, now this is really autistic. Hold on a second. Propinquity is I think that's how you say it, propinquity. It's basically the idea that the more you see something, the more you like it, right? So there is something, because we've been doing these Nick streams and covering the stuff out of Minnesota, I've been seeing something over and over, and I'm starting to like it. I'm starting to get like interested and attracted to it. It's kind of strange. Do you know what I'm talking about, guys? Do you know what it is? It's not April. It's not Kayla. It is the one, the only. Stoney's Bar and Grill. I unironically want to go to Stoney's. I guess it's another win for the toe. Like, I don't know. Like, it started with like Sean memeing it, but I just started hearing more and more about Stoney's, and then I was like, "Oh, I got to Google it." And if you saw Sean's stream yesterday, then you already know what's coming because I found this and sent it to Sean. Welcome, bikers. Look at that. Stoney's Bar and Grill. This looks like a fun place. Look at that. Look at that. Thirsty Thursday $2 cans. Amazing. Speaking like Linda Richard, $2. Viva and Barnes are the perfect self-owned buffoons. You could have bought 2 cans. Well, I guess 1 can. The 2 cans of bird. And then Surf and Bird says $2 fucking. You could also get a can on Thirsty Thursday with these super chats. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Look at that. But look, there's one review of Stoney's Bar that we have to check out. It is too good. Well, let's take a look through the photos of Stoney's. I need to see what's inside. I need to see what I'm missing out on. I need to see. Let's have a look. What the fuck is this? It's like a Bloody Mary, but there's like a Slim Jim in there. Is that what they're called? Like the meat sticks? What the fuck is this? Wait. Oh no, wait. What is this? Enhance. Wait. Oh no. Is that Spotted in the Wild? It's Aaron at Stoney's. And who's this? Is this unbaldoed? Is this a fresh April? Holy shit. Like, what the fuck? This is actually Aaron, isn't it? Is he just there all the time? Oh, another win for the toe. How do they keep getting away with it? Let's see if there's any other choice pictures of Stoney's Bar and Grill. This is great. I love these little places are really interesting to me, actually, unironically. I would love to visit Stoney's. It's free advertisement. Oh, that's kind of cool. What is this? It's like a transforming truck or some shit. That's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. There's a bar like this in Osaka with the bras on the ceiling. It's called Mustang, but it's a real dive bar. I'm not sure. It's not up to Stoney's quality. And 200 Studio with 2 says 2 cans sounds like a gay bar. I guess so. Now I think there's a different photo I saw here that has another Aaron in it when I was previewing. I didn't see that first. The one with Aaron in April, that was actually a surprise. But there's another picture in here, I think, of Aaron. Oh, look, there he is. Does Aaron just own? Is Aaron just on? Does he just own Stoney's? Like, am I just being like tricked or some shit? Does he just own the Stoney's bar? Is he like? I thought he was just being sponsored by them. But if he actually owns them, then that's actually kind of interesting. Or if he's like a partner or something. Let me see. I can't. There was like another one. I can't find it. Oh well. Oh, wait, what's this? No. He half owns it. Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Well, he's getting all this. He's getting all these free advertisements. So he did give me $10 though. So this is the kickback. But there's one review that we have to read, which is really good. I'm just seeing if there's a lot of bra pictures here. Is that April? Actually, it's probably just some random person. All right, let's have a look. This is the caliber of people at Stoney's. They look like a fun bunch of people. They're all like cosplaying as like this must be a Halloween picture or something. All right, let me check the review of this. And also, Tiberius, welcome to member status. Much appreciated. If you go over to the YouTube community tab, there'll be a secret link for you. And if it doesn't work, send me a message. All right, but I have to find this. Where are the? I have to go back, I think. Reviews. So I noticed when I was looking at Stoney's Bar and Grill in Broadway Street, next to Cedar Street, where is this? Rocksville, Minnesota. There's a lot of high review places. There's one negative review. Oh no, what could happen? Let's check out this negative review. Let's sort by lowest rating. And here we have this review. Oh no. Oh no. What's going on here? Oh no, I can't. I want to keep the picture of Stoney's up while I read the review. Oh well. I guess I can't do that. I'm not tech literate enough. Let's see. Sort by lowest rating. So from Dr. Richard R. Ape. Dr. Richard R. Ape. I went with my partner on August 10th, 2024, and there was some kind of radio party going on. The guy who ran the show looked at me and started an N-word and F-slur chant with the crowd. By the way, I'm a homosexual African-American. I left soon after. 1 star. Now I just want to go there more. What is it? What is Trisha? What is Trisha's? Is this like a real 1 star? I would have given it 5 stars. I was going to bring the family get together there this weekend, but now I'm not. I stopped in to use the bathroom and he told me on my way out, it is not a public restroom and I can't use the restroom anymore unless I buy something because I use it twice this week without buying anything. So much for Stonies. I think this is another win for the toe. Just some slaggers come into your bar and using the pisser and you're not even buying a drink. Get out of the street. Go piss on the street, woman. Get out of here. Another 1-star review. Saturday, August. Is this August 12th? Because it's American dates, right? I would say this is the 8th of December, but I think it's August 12th. My wife and I were flabbergasted with the atmosphere. Oh, wait. There was some radio show doing a party there. All sorts of vulgar language and racial slurs being used on the microphone. Hope this isn't the norm here. Are these actually real reviews? Or is it one guy? Or are it all troll reviews? I don't know. This is great. I want to go to Stonies even more now. They have a billboard blaming COOF shutdowns on the Democrats. I'm out. Gross, 1 star. Response from the owner. Lol, you're funny. Not a bad bar, but the owner could be a little bit more friendly. Lose the attitude. Oh my goodness. Need more waitresses and bartenders. Oh my goodness. That's Stoney's bar. What a wonderful. That sounds like an amazing place to go. I want to go there now. Like unironically, I do. Like this is even a meme. It's just because, like I told you, it's called propinquity. The more you hear about something, the more cachet it has in your head. So there you go. Stoney's Bar and Grill. Dear. Stoney has bathroom rules, but Logs Bar doesn't. Don't know what Logs Bar is. That's something else. Alrighty. I'm gonna mute this for a second. There we go. And let's have a look. All right, copy that. Let's go to Stoney's. Yeah, we're gonna go. So tomorrow. Oh shit! How do I stop this from making noise? There we go. I fixed it. Don't worry, guys. Just behind the scenes magic stuff. I'm setting up a field trip for you guys. All right, there we go. All right, it's good to go. All right, lads. Tomorrow we are going to attempt to play Chained Together with Max, whose computer probably will explode, and BP and me, who probably will get disconnected from a typhoon. I know the casino played it as well. We were planning to play it before they were planning it. It's just, but everyone's playing it. Is Potentially Criminal really making a meetup at Stoney's? Oh, I'm jealous. So tomorrow, you can expect some shenanigans with that. Otherwise, if you have some topics that you'd like me to talk about, send them through on Twitter, email, or just on a YouTube comment. Much appreciated. We have a little bit of fun tonight, and hope you had a good time in this stream. Be sure to leave a like on your way out. I'm going to stream raid you to the one and only Stoney's Bar in Minnesota. So go say hi to Aaron and say, I got to tell him this is the kickback. He bought this from me. I've been bought out. I'm going to go watch the rest of the Lord of the Rings episodes and try and start working on a review for that. So you can expect that maybe hopefully a couple of days you can get the next Lord of the Rings. It's bad. Season 2 so far is very bad. They released like 3 episodes at once though, which is annoying. But I'll see you next time, my fellow rats, as people are calling me. Well, since we're talking about cheese and rats and stuff, where's my mouse? Where's the stream mouse? All right. Cheers, chat. Have a good one. Peace.
Cheese, Ducky, forget the slide.